As the leader of the Booner Path, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juices pumping, boys.
Welcome to Crunch Time Sports with Jeff and Booner. It's Thursday, November 13th. You got Thursday Night Football on, which I was telling you, disgusting game in my opinion. But
yeah,
football's on. The coordinator spoke today for the Detroit Lions. We'll talk about that as well. We have Flannel Sam, the man, the myth, the legend, joining the show in the second hour. He'll be popping on to talk some ball with the fellas. We have some more things to get to today. I'm fired up about it. You know what?
Yeah.
The Eagles game, I can't. This is honestly the most excited I've been for a non-playoff game
in a long time. I feel yeah. I don't know since when. By the way, I think I'm losing my voice. It just keeps going out like randomly. It's just weird. So it's not good.
It's cold season. It's like everyone's getting colds. You know, everyone's getting under the weather.
Yeah. So it's one of it's that time of year. So it'll happen a lot throughout the next couple months. By the way, this Thursday night game. First off, Patriots. Their jerseys, their uniforms are unbelievable. Those gray. I think they might be one of the best uniforms in football. Have you seen them?
No.
They're wearing like some like gray. I don't know if it's gray, light blue. I don't know, but these things are unbelievable. I think they're some of the best jerseys I've seen in football. They're sick. And then the Jets, Aaron Glenn, man. AG.
Do you have a picture of them? I'd like to see it.
You should be able to see like on Twitter.
Oh, I've seen it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. They're very nice. And I just saw them like warming up on the field as well. Unbelievable. Very, very nice.
It's these right here.
They're clean.
These ones?
Yes.
Oh,
they're unreal. It's like all gray, dude. It's insane. And they look good too. They show the guys warming up and it's like they look clean. They really do. Also, too, okay, the AG stuff could real quick. AG's losing it there, huh? Did you see his press conference the other day? I thought that was insane.
You know what? I'm glad you brought this up because I've been wanting to talk about this. I just keep forgetting to tell you that I want to talk about this. I've actually seen a big split of people that you either love it or you hate it. And I honestly am a little surprised. I thought more people would maybe be more annoyed with it, but I've seen a lot of Jets fans that are kind of getting sick of it. But then I see a lot of Jets fans that keep popping up on my Twitter. It's like my algorithm now because I looked at it that like love it. Like some Jets account tweeted out a video of Aaron Glenn in the film room with Lions players, and it was on Hard Knocks, and he's just ripping them to shreds. And he's like, you know, oh, people say Aaron Glenn only does this with the media. He does it with everybody, you know, and he's ripping apart the players. I just personally, my take on it, I don't like it personally. I could see if you're a Jets fan, you're like, all right, bro, like, you know, it's like so there's people there in the media that are, and I know I get it. New York media can be a pain in the ass. I completely understand it. I know it. I get it. But as a head coach, you know what you signed up for. You're going to have to deal with New York media. You're going to have to be, I get a little aggressive at times, but something as simple as like, hey, you know, Garrett Wilson's injury update. And he's like, go ask Rich.
Yeah,
I
thought that was ridiculous.
Like, you're the head coach. Like, I want to know what's going on with Garrett Wilson.
That whole scenario was like
petty, in my opinion.
For sure. Especially if it's like part of the guy, like, and this is the thing too, like with reporters, whether they reported it earlier or not, like part of their job is to report it, right? It's like if they get information that's good and vetted information, they're going to put it out there. So I don't know like why AG was so mad about it. If he leaked it early, I don't know what he would have been so.
You know what I heard about that? And I don't want to throw this person under the bus. I don't know how to, and I forgot to tell you this off air. But there's someone I know in the Lions media, which shouldn't be hard. You could probably
I'm
guess.
Guessing there's about 4 guys I can guess who it
there's a 25% chance of you guessing it that knew when DJ Reed would return earlier than the Lions announced.
Oh, you told me that, I think.
And he maybe I did tell you that. And they didn't report it. So I don't know if there's like this unwritten rule that you're not supposed to say stuff. I mean, I'm sure this person could have went on Twitter and been like, I just talked to blank, you know, DJ Reed. And this is
but the player like got put on IR. Like Garrett Wilson got put on IR today. And he did that 2 days ago. So it was like he was going on IR I don't know.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
No,
Like there might be a rule.
I didn't know that. I just realized. I just found that out. I don't know. I didn't know that was.
Maybe there is an unwritten rule. Maybe that's something that we're still learning here. But
I just learned this.
Like if I got a text from an agent or something that was happening, guess what I probably would do?
Oh, we're putting it out.
I would throw it out so fast.
Yeah.
If it was vetted and it was correct, right? So I don't know. Like I just think AG handled it wrong. I think there's a lot of things that AG throughout the season as a head coach he's like learning and potentially just handling in a bad way, right? Like I get it. Like if you're frustrated or upset about it, like you have to be the leader in that building and be able to like show poise and move on from it, right? Instead of kind of being petty and being that like, oh, why don't you just go ask him? And I think like, okay, if he does that first, got it. Like, but then when the reporter's like, hey, AG, like with no disrespect, nothing. We actually want to know, like we're asking you as the coach, and then him to be like, again, like, no, go ask Rich. Like, okay, at that point, it's like for me, like I don't want a guy like that leading my organization, my $1 billion organization. And I'm not saying I don't want AG. I think AG can lead, but when you see those types of things, like that's stuff that like a player that's a little undisciplined, like that's how undisciplined players act in the media and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like when you see that's not great. And if he's going to act like that, like how is he going to act in different situations? And we know AG from when he was here, right? Like we know AG's a stand-up guy, just not the right way to handle that, especially after the second time a reporter is genuinely like, hey, like trying to do my job. Can you help us here? And like AG's burning the chat, dumb questions get dumb answers. It actually was not a dumb question. It was actually like a fair question for the media to ask.
Yeah, you're referring to the injury with Garrett Wilson. I think he mentioned. What do you think of the whole? People keep asking about who's starting at quarterback. What do you think about that?
I don't care about. I mean, however he wants to answer that, he can answer that.
Because I get that game plan.
I'm more so just like the injury thing. Like, hey, AG, like they're genuinely trying to do their job. You're being petty. Stop being petty and give these guys are trying to do their job. Like, what if you're trying to do your job and a ref makes a mistake and you go to the ref and he's like, I don't know, go ask someone else. You're going to be a little pissed off about it. Be like, what are you talking about here? Like I'm trying to do my job at a high level. So it's not their fault and it's not the media's fault that rich guy made that move and did what he did, right? Like that's not their fault. So taking that out on the media, to me, that's like an irresponsible, kind of like an immature coaching thing to do. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, if like AG said, the reporter should know. Okay, I'm not saying what Rich did. The reporter that reported Garrett Wilson's injury was right or wrong. I'm just saying AG's response. Like he probably could have handled that.
Especially like you're taking it out on reporters that had nothing to do with the situation. You're supposed to be a pro and a leader.
Yeah, I think that shtick. I think his shtick. He comes off sometimes as brash, which is again, there's some coaches that can get away with that. It's hard, man, when you have 2 wins. What does he have? 2 wins on the year. They're basically rebuilding, and you got to. That's kind of who he is. I mean, he's authentic. I respect it. But that, if you're not, I mean, it's especially hard when you're not winning. If you're acting like that, it's hard. You know, like Dan Campbell can pretty much act however he wants. He's not that type of head coach. Obviously, he's a former player. But when you're losing, that shit, I can see that getting old very, very quickly. So I don't know. I wish AG nothing but the best. I mean, it's just I don't know how it's going to go with New York. That's a tough place to turn around, man.
And he's weird that
he's good for he's good at handling tough like the media and stuff, but you could tell he's getting just fed up already. It's like, bro, it's your first season. I mean, you're going to be with these media guys for a long time, you know.
So is AG's burner talking about the quarterback or the injury question? Like, what is he talking about?
I guess the Garrett Wilson question. I guess that kind of pertains to game planning because they don't
not
know
really though back. Because you ask like the Lions, like they ask about DJ Reed, they ask about players. Dan has always been straight up with them, right? Like you always want to ask about injured players, like Terrion Arnold. They ask about Terrion. What does he say? Still in concussion protocol. He's not like, I don't know, go ask this guy. Like, no. He answers the question so you can report on it.
Yeah, I think it's as a head coach, from what I've observed from Dan, I know it's different media, Detroit, New York, but I think you probably want to be good with the media because
if they ask the question, it like okay, if you don't want to put your information out there, the game planning, be respectful to the media about it. Like that's the biggest thing in my opinion with media. It's like if you want the media to be respectful and ask you respectful questions and not go out of their way to do to write articles about firing you, like be respectful to them. Jeff, ask me what I'm trying to do at quarterback.
Booner, How you doing, Jeff?
Doing
Crunch
good.
Time Sports. What do you? What's the quarterback situation for this week on Sunday's game? Who's
Yeah,
starting?
love both guys. We're going to kind of keep that in house, and we're excited for Sunday to see who kind of suits up and is playing football for us behind the center. Now ask me about injuries. About Garrett Wilson.
Booner, but Jeff Iafrate, Crunch Time Sports.
Yep. Good to see you.
Thanks, Coach. There's some injury here with we'll go with Kirby Joseph. Is Kirby Joseph expected to suit up on Sunday? What's the news with him?
We're still working through that. We're going to talk with the trainers. We're going to figure something out, and we're going to see what happens. But we would love to have him on the field on Sunday, and we're going to prepare like we may or may not have him. But we're being optimistic in regards to it.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Is that hard? Like I didn't give anything away on the game plan, did I? Did you get any game plan? Any tips? Like that's how easy it is to be a professional. Like it's easy. Just be a pro, man. Jeez, dude. Hey, you want to do it one more time? Ready? Hit me one more time. Ask me about Garrett Wilson.
Coach, Jeff Iafrate, Crunch Time Sports here. Garrett Wilson, he's out obviously because of an injury. What's kind of the timeline there? Is he expected to suit up this week?
Hey, why don't you ask Rich about that, huh? Since Rich wants to hand out all this information, Jeff. And you know what? Stop asking me those dumb questions to give up my game plan. I'm not going to tell you.
All right.
And that's how AG handles it.
Sounds good, Coach. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if one day someone just did that to AG and walked out of the room and said, you know what? I don't need this in my life. And it's crazy, dude. Just be a pro, man. Like, you are the leader of $1 billion organization. Just be a pro. That's all.
Be a pro.
And I love AG. He is a pro. So I don't know why he acted like that.
Hey, by the way, speaking of be a pro, the Lions got a pro's pro, to handle the halftime show at the Thanksgiving. Not only did he get Eminem, he got Paul Rosenberg.
I don't know who this Paul Rosenberg guy is.
So he's basically like, that's Eminem's guy. That's like,
okay.
His, I think that's, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure.
Is that like his manager?
Yeah, he's the former CEO of Def Jam Recordings.
You know,
from Detroit too. Paul Rosenberg.
Paul is?
Yep, he's the man. He's Eminem's manager. That's real. I mean, yeah.
Paulie.
He signed. He literally signed. He's been with Eminem since he was,
Okay.
Eminem.
So he's the one that got like Eminem to become Eminem.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much signed him and was his manager for a bajillion years. But they're now running the halftime show. So
I wonder if he was Slim Shady's manager too.
Yeah. Well, doo-doo.
Oh man, this guy's got jokes, dude.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, no, they're running the halftime show for Thanksgiving. Which, by the way, I got to give full transfer. I was at the Thanksgiving game that we always joke about, where Jordan Love dotted up the Lions. That was actually the Jack Harlow halftime show.
Oh no,
they did that man so dirty at the halftime show. They literally got this dude a playground to perform on. It was literally like a stitched together like shitty playground, and he performed. And on TV, it was like you couldn't tell.
It looked so bad. It looked like they took white construction paper and like bed sheets and threw it all on top of the playground.
And at the time, like Jack Harlow was kind of like he was kind of like he's popping off. I mean, I get they wanted it. I don't even think Jack was probably even the good fit there. It was just a weird halftime show. I don't know who's been running them, but I'm glad they got Eminem and Paul to do it. They need some juice, man. They need some juice.
Who would you pick for Eminem to pick? I'm interested.
I know JMO said today that they should get someone local, like in Detroit. Which
okay.
So
you think Jeezy's out?
Jeezy. I think here's the problem. I think you would be 20. There would be like 25% of the crowd that would be like, "That's Jeezy," and
everyone would be juiced up. What? That would be 100% of the crowd.
And then you just hear, "I put on for my city," and everyone's like, "Oh, for my city. I know this one. Okay, I know this one." But Jeezy wouldn't get the respect.
What about today? Actually, we talked about it at work today. What about the Doughboys?
See, that's what kind of JMO is insinuating. Get someone from Detroit, which I like the idea of that. I don't know how that is like marketing wise. I mean, it's a Thanksgiving game for America. I don't know if the best move would be to get someone from Detroit. Love all the Detroit rappers and everything, but I'm talking from a global perspective. I don't know if that's the right move. But if they want to get like, Vezzo, Doughboys, Cash. I mean, you want to get someone here locally? Cool. I'm all Big Sean.
I would
Cool
go
with
just
it.
for halftime at Doughboys cash outs there. I would just go for halftime. I'll come back to the
Everyone
stream
at Ford
after.
Field would love it. Everyone at Ford
Oh,
Field would love it.
dude. I do think though there is a world, and maybe this is crazy. Eminem and them should approach it where they're like the Super Bowl halftime show. Let's make the next biggest thing that artists want to play in is at Ford Field for Thanksgiving halftime. Like, let's go out and go. You know what? Taylor Swift won't do the Super Bowl. Let's get her out for the Thanksgiving one. You know what I mean? Drake won't do the halftime show for the Super Bowl. Let's get him out for the Thanksgiving one.
Yeah, T Grizzly.
T Grizzly would be a good one. Yeah. I mean, my guess this year, what they're going to do, and this is just my guess, and I want you guys all to remember this when the halftime happens. I bet you they get like 5 or 6 artists. Like, I bet you Big Sean, T Grizzly. I bet you they get like a bunch of different artists and they do like a little mix match of players, or not players, but artists. That's my guess. Yeah.
See, that one could work because it's like he's in Detroit. But what if Eminem's just like, I'll do it?
He might. I'm sure he will at some point. Maybe he should do the first one.
I'll
set the tone.
I would love that. I don't know. Go get Lil Wayne got snubbed from the Super Bowl. Go get Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne. I saw Lil Wayne last year in concert. Man, that man he's different, dude.
You just got to get a teleprompter for him because he doesn't remember all his lyrics. But you got to get.
Let's bring Mr. Carter in, man. I'm all there too. If Mr. Carter's there, I might miss the halftime at our stream as well.
AG's murder. Get Eminem and the Jabberwockies is insane.
Yeah, they're crazy good though.
Hey, by the way, Easy said in the chat too. He says, "Oh, you guys got to listen to an old M album, one and done. You'll learn about Paul Rosenberg.
Shout out Paul, man. Paul Rosenberg.
One done. An old Eminem album. Oh, no, yeah. Paul Rosenberg. Yeah, he's I've heard him referenced multiple times. I mean,
Corey Hall said, sick of rap halftime shows. What if we got like Morgan Wallen in Ford Field, huh?
It would cost a pretty penny.
What about Nickelback?
That wouldn't cost as much of a pretty penny. I think
I was standing in line.
You know,
that bang. People will love that.
Nickelback's crazy. Yeah, Nickelback. Nickelback's got some hits, man.
He does.
Yeah, that's Nickelback got some hits now. By the way, I gotta show off this injury report. It's still lengthy. I mean, this thing cannot.
And there's some added to it too, which I don't know if that's a good thing, man. What's happening here in the city right now, man?
I mean, this thing is a freaking laundry list, bro. I mean, this is a grocery list. I mean, look at this. You have TA, still no practice. That's concern. I don't know. He's not playing. Kirby and him probably aren't playing. I don't feel confident in that, to be honest. So TA and Kirby did not practice this week. Sam Laporta did not practice this week. I'm a little concerned about that one, if I'm being honest. I don't know.
Back too. Back sucks, man. Back's like the worst injury because it's everything, right? Like, so yeah, I don't like seeing back. Like Josh Pascal obviously is back. Like he was out for a long time. Graham is back too. Just back. Weird injury to me, man.
Like, dude, I mean, you got Pat O'Connor. He practiced, then he didn't practice. Now Marcus Davenport, limited practice again. Taylor Decker, Miles Frazier, Josh Pascal. See, those are good. GJ Reed, another limited practice, so that's good. Amik Robertson, limited practice, so he's back. I don't even.
No, it's not that he's not back. Amik got hurt at practice. It sounds like not practice yesterday.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he practiced yesterday, and then now he has a hamstring injury, which you would have to think like, let's put some context clues together. Amik got a hamstring injury during practice yesterday. That's what you would think, right? If he practiced and now he's not, or he's limited.
Yep, that's a good observation. That's probably bad.
He probably tweaked something at that's worrisome because you're already down with TA, and now and you know, Jeff, you know how I feel about these hamstring injuries. I don't like these hamstring injuries.
Very tedious. You know,
they scare me.
Very tedious injuries. They can be scary. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson's back, Penei Sewell's back, Vaki, Brock Wright, and Graham are all back. I guess Graham participated, but he had a full practice, so that's good. Let's see. We'll get down this list a little bit here. And you look to the bottom, Malcolm Rodriguez, full practice again.
He's got to be playing on Sunday. There's no way he's not.
Yep, he'll be playing. He'll be out there. I think Doc actually mentioned it. It's the last week of his 21-day window, so he has to be activated, I think.
Yeah.
So that's good. He'll be back. But yeah, I hope Sam Laporta, although he didn't practice, plays. I feel more confident about him than Kirby or TA. But if you were without TA, Kirby, and Sam Laporta for this game, that sucks. It's really bad. So
yeah,
if at least you got to have one of the 3 starters there. I mean, because at least you can have Amik and Well, I guess it'd be a Meek and Rocky scene.
But either way, like, and then you have that. I don't know, man.
Don't let AJ Brown. AJ Brown's licking his chops, man. This is gonna be.
I don't know if he's licking his chops. That man is probably just. He's not all there right now. I wonder if there's a world though with like all these guys not practicing, if they're treating this, because you do have a gauntlet of a schedule kind of coming up, and I know you already had your bye week, but like through the second half of the season, I always say this as well, and we've noticed this the last few years. Second half of the season, the practice report is always longer because they're like letting guys rest extra. I know they don't put rest on there, but if they have like an injury, it's like, hey, you can get a couple extra more days off of practice, or you're going to go limited instead of full for the week just because we want to be careful with it. That's what that practice report feels like. I know it looks like a lot and it's a little overwhelming. And I'm sure Lions fans, like we've had weeks this year where there's like one guy on there. Now we have like half of the roster of the 53 man is some sort of injury. I think it's just more precautionary of, hey, let's give these guys a little bit of rest as we kind of get through this thing.
Well, then you have the Eagles practice report. Cam Jurgens, light practice.
Oh, limited. Okay.
Like all these guys that had full practices, like Jacorian Bennett's been out. He's
back.
a corner they traded for. He's back.
Landon Dickerson.
He's practice. Lane Johnson full practice. Willie Lampkin full practice.
Nolan Smith
full practice. So they're actually pretty healthy, to be honest. They're pretty healthy.
Yeah. Cam's probably going to play if he was limited today. Most likely.
Oh, yeah, limited. I keep saying light practice, limited practice.
I guess it's the same.
But, Cam Jurgens, that's a big
work.
one. That's a big one.
Yeah.
They're all banged up, to Corey's point. They are banged up. They're dealing with something, but it doesn't mean be out there. I mean, so are the Lions, though. I mean, Panay, Taylor, Graham, they're all banged up, man. At this point, everyone's banged up. I feel everyone's going to be banged up. I mean, you don't have it. It's just what happens. Everyone's dealing with something, but yeah, I really hope you have the big one for me is like Sam Laporta, because in this game you're going to need your weapons. You could probably I would love Kirby back. That was like a big one I mentioned, but I don't have confidence at all he's going to be back. And they're probably looking at it like we'd rather have this man. We don't want to rush him back. We have a long season left. I mean, I get it. This game isn't like everything, but it's such a statement game. Maybe I'm on the side of I'm rushing guys back. It's probably not smart, but this is a big game just for statement purposes. Like, dude,
you're at a point of the season like you have to, like, you're not a lock to win the division. You're not a lock to like. There's no, I don't think such thing as a bad thing of rushing guys back. Everyone's banged up at this point of the season. It's just like that in the playoffs. You got to play ball, man. You're gonna have to play through injuries. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Look, players do it all the time, and on the best football teams, you just have to go out there and play. I think some of these guys, if you have your full offense on Sunday, defensively you can figure it out, right? But I think offensively, you want to make sure that you have your full offense because you want to be able to, you want to stay with this team. And this is a game you have to, in my opinion. I know, like, I don't know if you watched some of the player interviews, but they kept asking them like must win, must win, must win.
Yeah.
I would say, and they're all so good at it. They're like, every single one of them's like, every week is. Like every game is. It's like, all right. I would say this is one of those must wins. It's like a conference, a team in your conference that could get the 1 seed. If you can win your division, you're in a divisional battle. This is an NFC opponent that's going to be in the playoffs with you. Like this would be a huge win and a huge, I think, momentum boost for your football team. You know, that's what it feels like.
Need a conference win since they're already 1-2 in the division.
Yes. And you just need to you need to stay in first in your your division, but two, like winning a game of this magnitude on the road versus another Super Bowl contender. Do you know what that could do for your confidence moving forward? Like if you lose it, you're fighting from behind now. Like you're questioning, hey, are we good enough? Are we that? This is a team where it's like you win this mindset Super Bowl. Like we're right there, even though it probably already is, but.
It would be a huge confidence boost. It's like that for any sport. I mean, it's like you don't think any team that faces the Thunder that can beat the Thunder when healthy is like, oh yeah, like they feel.
They
good.
don't lose, by the way.
I know, but
they're 12-1, and they have like blown out every good team in basketball.
But the point being is, it happens across sports. I don't care if the Eagles aren't like they were last year. If you beat them, any team like the Giants, I'm sure after they beat them, they were like, oh yeah. We just look at what we do, fellas. You know, look what we look like when we play our best. We just beat the Super Bowl champs, and then they lose like 4 straight. I mean, it's just like it does. Some teams it works, some teams it doesn't. So if you could beat the Eagles, yeah, of course everyone's going to be like, "See, I told you, I told you. If you play our best, we can beat anybody." You know. So like the Eagles are going to be the example for pretty much any NFL team if they face them. It's like I'm sure like that was Bo Nix. That was like the Broncos. Like they after they beat the Eagles, they won another like 3 straight after that. 3 straight or whatever.
You know how big it would be if they beat them on the road? Like the confidence boost would just be massive.
Dude.
Like instantly, like especially after what you've gone through when you've lost to the Chiefs, the Packers, the Vikings, you get a win like this versus a healthy Eagles team. Essentially, it's like, okay, boys, we are here. Like the only other team in the conference that they were putting ahead of us was the Eagles and the Rams, and you play them too coming up. So
yeah, I don't want to talk about I don't want to talk like this, but I'm just saying, not that we're concerned about it. But if you win this game, you will be tied with the Eagles 7-3. You have the tiebreaker. And then if the Rams lose, the Seahawks, I guess, would still be in there.
Yeah.
But you're in the number 1 seed race. You're in this race.
You're right there. You control your own destiny.
You're in the number 1 seed race because then you get the Rams at some point this year too. And the Seahawks got to play the Rams again at some point. So what were you going to say?
You control your own destiny. I don't know if we were going to move topics, but I just wanted to throw out there. Did you watch the coaching?
I did.
Press conference? Can I just add?
So Corey will be joining.
Yes. Can I then before he joins? I just want to get because me and you've had this back and forth about Dave Phipp. Did you watch Dave? Did you listen?
I did.
Takeaways because I thought he came out pretty good. Where you're like, okay. I don't think he came with excuses. I think he broke down.
No, he made sure to say he wasn't accused.
Yeah, but Phipp doesn't make excuses. Phipp doesn't make excuses.
It was funny. It was funny.
He kept saying it. But in his mind, he's like, I don't want to make excuse, but this is actually how it's working. Because no one. Let's call it what it is. Like I'll be honest about it. Like half of the fans, like or 90% of the fans, like a lot of people aren't gonna like know the ins and outs of special teams, right? Like. What's good? What's bad? What's the percent? What's this? Like no one knows. So like for Phipp, everyone's like going at his job and he's like, okay, let me break this down to you real quick, just so you know. And he actually broke it down like extreme. I thought he did. And it's hard. Like this is why I want to ask you because I obviously am biased where I'm like, let's get off the Dave Phipp fire train and let's actually have a real conversation where like he knows he's one of the best in the league at what he does. I thought today he broke down the negatives of this special teams has been 1, Jake Bates getting blocked, and 2, your kick return. And he actually broke down both of them, and especially the kick return situation. I didn't realize around the NFL that there are more kick returns that are going out to the 40, 45. He said it's like an insane amount, like not over 90 of them. And he said almost 3 a week per team. You're seeing in a game, three a game come out to the 40, 45. So he was like, it's not that crazy that we give up 1. Like he's like actually 1 a game is good because most teams are giving up 2 or 3. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, what he's saying, and like all jokes aside, I was just making a joke. Like what he was actually saying made sense. I think both things because he did admit he said I'm not making excuses. We have to be better, but which I appreciate that. But he was explaining, I think the main point people are freaking out about, and he kind of broke it down. I thought he did a pretty good job of breaking it down. I think what he said made a lot of sense. Because if you do watch NFL games, like when the Lions are on a bye week, I watched pretty much the whole slate of games that day. Like you do see more, you do see kick returns or punt returns. We'll just stick with kick returns going to close to you're seeing guys get more yards, typically. And that's because that's what the NFL wanted though, when they made this rule change. They wanted to entice teams to return the football, like they want more returns. It was a bunch of touchbacks and, everyone's just taking knees and just forfeiting it basically. Like the league wants returns and it's working out. I think there's another thing too. I think the Jake Bates thing is more just Jake Bates. Like I think he just has to be better. Like I think I don't want to blame because
I think Phipp said the same thing though. Phipp was just like, it's just one of those things that hasn't really dealt with in his career, and he's had so many ups. This is the first down, and he's trying to learn and figure this thing out. So he kind of alluded to that as well.
Yeah, which is fair. Like I'm not going to blame Dave Phipp on Jake Bates like low kicks or like.
So you're more confident after seeing him talk though today.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
I want to
Like,
make sure because we've had this back and forth, and I tried my best to stand up for Dave Phipp this week with everyone, all of the fan base kind of going at him. I didn't think the special teams last week was as bad as the week before. And seems like Phipp has this whole thing under control. I do think it's a good tad bit to like, or tidbit, is it the saying? Tidbit for like people to actually watch what he says and him. Yeah, I don't know which one it is, but for him to actually break down like, hey guys, like, I know you guys are frustrated that one of our, returns goes out to the 40. We allow that. He was like, go look at the rest of the league because this is happening more often than not around the NFL with this new kickoff. Like you're thinking about the old kickoff. This is a new kickoff. You know what I mean? I just watched the New England Patriots. They just ran out to the 33-yard line. That's not good, but it's what it is now in today's NFL.
All right, let's welcome in our guest here, Mr. Corey Woods, covers the Detroit Lions.
Let's go.
Live.com. Fresh off a fresh lineup, fresh off a fade. I mean, he's literally this guy.
Love that.
You guys have seen Corey's lineups. I mean, this guy. I don't know who his barber is. He needs to be talked about a lot more. All right, I don't know what's going on over there in the Corey Woods household, but he looks great, and he's joining us remotely right after a haircut, and I respect him for it. Corey Woods, Corey, how we doing?
Yo, what's the deal, man?
Hey, look, we appreciate you joining, Corey. I do want to ask because we talked about this before you joined the.
Oh, wait a minute, real quick. My face ain't ashy. That's all. That's just, the ash line from the barber. So I got to go get some moisturizer. I don't want nobody out here thinking like, oh, damn, he jumped in there without no lotion on. No, just the barber.
Yeah, I respect. You need to clarify that. Respect it, Corey. I get it. No worries. I want to ask. We looked at this injury report earlier in the show, and there's you see Sam Laporta on there. He didn't practice. Yeah. Kirby Joseph didn't practice. Darren Arnold didn't practice. Some of the guys are obviously returning, which is good news. And we can get your thoughts on that in a little bit here with Davenport and so forth. But the Sam Laporta thing kind of popped up out of nowhere. What's kind of your confidence that the guys that did not practice, Sam Laporta, Kirby, and TA, what's your confidence that you'll see one of the three or all three or zero of the three this week against the Eagles?
I haven't heard anything about Sam in the days leading up to today, so that is something we'll probably address with Dan Campbell tomorrow. I don't know. It might be nothing. We haven't heard anything about Sam popping up. Terrion, I know I believe he's still in the protocol, so that's an iffy one. But Kirby, I'm probably leaning towards where the Lions being without Kirby another week, just off the fact that you want Kirby for the long haul.
Right.
And even though this is going to be a tough game against the Eagles, I just don't see them throwing Kirby out there right about now with the way that his knee has been. We do see him around practice. I mean, he was actually out there jogging on the field when we had the viewing period. Out there talking to the guys, giving them I guess you could say words of affirmation, so to say, boosting them up. But I would be shocked if we see Kirby this game. But you never know. These guys, big game. This is a game that could have major playoff implications down the line. So you never know. But the one person I would really be shocked of all of them to play would be Terrion, just because of the concussion.
Yeah, Corey, I do want to ask, we haven't actually talked to you and gotten your thoughts on since Dan Campbell took over play calling on Sunday. We'd love to get your thoughts on him, kind of the play calling and what that looked like and moving forward with Dan. And also, I know John Morton spoke to the media today, and your thoughts on how John Morton actually handled that today as well, because it felt like he handled that in probably one of the most professional ways you could have as someone who essentially got demoted in his position.
Well, I'll handle the first one first about Dan Campbell taking over the play calling. It is something that me and Ben were talking about on the Dungeon of Doom podcast. We said that I personally I said, hey, give him about maybe 1 or 2 more games to see how this looks, see how it looks against the Commanders, and then see how it looks against the Eagles, and then go from there. If it still looks stagnant, then you might have to go ahead and pull a move like you did last time with Anthony Lynn. Obviously, we see that Dan said, no, I'm going to go ahead and do this right now, and he removed the play calling duties from John Morton. And to me, it looked a little bit more like it was more up-tempo, more life, more sense of urgency. You got to see more of David Montgomery and Jamison Williams involved often and early, something that I was really critical about with John Morton, because one thing that Ben Johnson did really well was he knew how to flip-flop Gibbs and Montgomery on the same drive, something that I did not see Morton do too well. And the thing about it is Dan Campbell is an offensive guy at heart. I mean, this is a guy that learned under Sean Payton, learned under Bill Parcells. I know people see the speeches from the outside media, and they see the speeches, they see the bravado, the machismo, and think that he's just a meathead or something like that. But Dan Campbell is a very offensive-minded person. I think that Ben said he thought he enjoyed making the play calls. I'm kind of circling back around to that because you just see how the players were responding after the game. I was in the locker room. Everything you heard was ran smoothly. Chemistry was there. So I think Dan Campbell taking over the play calling is what was needed, at least for that game. We're going to see how it looks this week against Philly. If it continues to look this way, I mean, hey, Dan may have turned the season around. When it comes to John Morton and how he handled it, I mean, I would say this. I thought what I heard from him was a lot better than what we heard from Anthony Lynn around that same time. And John Morton handled it as best as possible. I mean, in the position that he's in. I mean, he said that he's still helping Dan out from the week of, as far as getting the game plan installed. But on the days of the game, it's going to be Dan running the show. So I think that he did as much as he could to save face in a very difficult position.
Yeah, Corey, the question that was asked this week to Dan I thought was very fair was just about the defensive line. And I know Aiden didn't have his best game against the Commanders, but when you look at this D-line, they're last in the NFL in pass rush win rate, which, again, that could be they're up there in sacks, so it depends how you look at it. Marcus Davenport coming back, Josh Paschal coming back. What have you seen from this defensive line in the last couple of weeks? I know AQM's kind of taken a little bit of a dip just in terms of winning one-on-ones, and Dan talked about it. They need people besides Hutch to win them. And then what does Marcus and Josh kind of help out on that defensive line? What do they bring to the table that you're excited to see?
Well, the one thing that we have seen a slight dip in is, with the interior, with the against the run, when with Aleem coming back and Talik having his snap count reduced. That is one thing we've seen, but also, to kind of go against that, Roy Lopez has stepped up as of recently, so you got to give him credit for what he's done. I believe when you're able to go ahead and mix Josh Paschal and Marcus Davenport into this rotation, along with Aiden Hutchinson and Al-Qadim Muhammad, we might start, if they're able to stay healthy, we might start to see why Dan Campbell said, hey, we're good. Because right now, I believe they're still fourth in the league in sacks. So, I mean, that is not something that people predicted when they didn't bring back Zadarius Smith to pair with Aiden Hutchinson. So I think right now, just being able to get some of those guys back out there and kind of get Aleem's legs back up under him, find out a way to get Talik more involved. I think they're going to be fine for the long haul in that regard.
What do you think, Corey, about Malcolm Rodriguez and his role? Have you guys had that conversation, like even with media members, about how you guys feel like that role of Malcolm's going to be when he comes back? Because that is a deep linebacker room, and he obviously, we know the level he could play at a starter level if they need him to. But how do you think the snaps with the guy like Rodrigo coming back? And it sounds like potentially this week was the goal for him. Do you see him getting a lot of snaps and kind of working into that?
I can see him getting some snaps on special teams, most definitely, because that is an area where they've been struggling, for sure. And I could definitely see him getting some more snaps. I don't think they will rush him back out there totally. I think they might put him on the pitch count, but then again, I thought they were going to do that with Lee McNeil. He ended up playing double the snaps that Dan anticipated for him. So I think it just all goes on the flow of the game, how he's playing, how he's looking out there. But Rodrigo is a guy that Kelvin Sheppard has been very high on since his rookie year. And as you just said, when they've needed him to go out there and perform in spots, he's done exactly just that. And it's curious to see how he's going to look recovering from that injury. But I think we might see him. If I had to guess, I could probably see him playing no more than 20 snaps if they go ahead and roll him out this week.
Well, Corey, I'll get your thoughts on this game before we get you out of here. Just this Eagles matchup, it's massive. They're relatively healthy. I know they've been dealing with some problems with A.J. Brown, not getting him the football, but what does this game this weekend kind of mean to you? How much of a statement game is it? And what do you expect out of the lines this week? And kind of your evaluation of how the Eagles have looked? Because I know people are down on them as well.
I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I believe that the Lions do have a good chance to win this game, just off of the way that their offense is looking now with Dan Campbell calling the shots. They're getting some of their pieces back on defense. As you said, right now, the Eagles' offense is in flux internally, but some of the issues they have going on, their run game has not been great. I mean, Saquon Barkley is averaging under 4 yards per carry so far, and it's just for some reason they still manage to win games as we see right now with their record. But I just think that they have not played a team like the Lions that could be the perfect storm for them to go ahead and drop a game. I have this being somewhat similar to their 2022 game, 38-35, but this time it's going to be the Lions. I think the real key for them to be successful in this game is to not let Jalen Hurts get off the script and get outside of that pocket with something that Hutch talked about yesterday. So as long as they're able to contain him and keep that run game going, I think they'll be just fine.
There you go. Corey, we
Dave,
appreciate that.
can I-
Oh, no. Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, Corey, I just want to get your confidence real quick, just on the like in your thoughts on the line, offensive line play with Graham. I know he's kind of had that back injury. Taylor Decker kind of coming back from the injury. Yodi there at the left tackle. What are your thoughts on the whole offensive line play going into a week like this?
I think I'm more confident now that Dan Campbell is calling the plays, because if you look at each of their three losses, there has been one consistent theme: communication issues. Dan has said that in each of their losses, there's been some level of communication issues. With Dan being on the sideline and being directly in the mix of things and then being able to hold these guys accountable as soon as they come off the sidelines and do real in-time corrections as opposed to, phoning down from the headset or whatnot, I believe that this is just what this team needs for them to be successful. It might work, having your play caller in the booth might work for some other teams. Just for this team, I don't think that works. So I think with Dan being out there, being able to make those corrections in real time and those adjustments, I think that the offensive line play is going to be just as good as it was last week. I mean, Goff took a hit or two there, but he didn't take any sacks, and he was played relatively clean. Eagles, they haven't really been able to get to the quarterback that much. I will say this though, Jalen Phillips did look good on Monday night.
Oh,
So
yeah, he
there's
did.
that. So you want to go ahead and make sure he doesn't get off. But I think with Dan out there, they'll be fine.
Love it. Corey, we appreciate you joining even remotely. You guys can follow Corey at Corey E. Woods on X, covers the Detroit Lions from MLive.com. We'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Peace.
There you go.
See you, Corey.
Woods joining us, talking some Lions football, Lions Eagles this weekend. We got Sam Flannel joining in 15, 16 or so minutes. Let's get into this coordinator stuff if you want, man. Because
Interesting stuff today, huh?
Yeah, I know John Morton spoke. Kelvin spoke. I got a clip here. John Morton, kind of how he handled the questions. And I will say this, man. We discussed a week ago today, John Morton's press conference, Calvin Sheppard's press conference. Shout out Calvin Johnson. We had different thoughts than we did today. I think both coordinators definitely had a much better press conference today.
Yes.
Calvin included, because Calvin last week, it seemed like he was kind of, it's same kind of way as John, where they're just kind of dismissive, whatever. I thought that today that Calvin was great. Calvin talked about a bunch of different things. John Morton, he had the big one where people were asking him about being demoted. And last week he's very standoffish. It's the O-line, it's the O-line, it's the O-line. I think he sees Dan go out there, call plays, and it goes really well. And now he's like, shit, all right. Well, maybe I think his ego, not that he's got this massive ego. I think he's a good dude. I just think at the time he kind of got checked a little bit just with reality. And this week, I thought he responded really well. Like I think that's who Johnny Mo is. Truthfully, I think he's a good dude. I think he busts his ass. And I think you can't say he doesn't. Every coach he's worked with says the same thing about him. Like John Gruden, Sean Payton, all those guys. I think he busts his ass getting ready for games. And he spoke about it today. I just think it had to do, like Booner, just some people, you just aren't fit for a specific role, maybe. That's just what it is. As of right now, he can grow, maybe. I'm not saying he can never be a play caller, but as of right now, he ain't ready for it. I'll just tell you that.
Yeah, I think maybe there's a situation, too, and I think you're dead on to where, obviously, last week you had that press conference, and that was kind of that, we did talk about it right after it happened on our show last week, about how it was kind of a weird press conference for him. And then you saw like the The players come out. It was the complete opposite of what he was saying. Dan Campbell, opposite of what he was saying. It was a weird situation. And I'm right there with you. Like, I don't know if it's John Morton, like he purposely did it. I think he genuinely, like, I looked at it like this, like looking back at hearing him today and then the press conference last week, I think it was genuinely like he just might have been wrong, like he felt it was a way, and
right.
He might have been wrong about it, right? Like, and we're all like that in all of our professions and what we all do. There's times where, we're in control of something and or we have a task we have to do and we were wrong and we mess it up, and it is what it is, right? You have to move on and keep moving forward. I respect John Morton a ton more than I did today now after the press conference when he went up there today. And listen, he just said, I've been in this, and we're going to hear it. Like, he's been in this league a long time. He's been in coaching a long time. You're going to get demoted. You're going to get fired. Things are going to happen, unless you're winning a Super Bowl every year. Like, everything's not going to always be perfect. And him kind of taking that head on, I think it's one of the best things, the mindset that he has. And if you haven't, at the end of our show today, like, we're going to show a small clip of John Morton. I would tell everyone, like, if you're a Lions fan and you're like interested in trying to figure out what, the mindset of these guys are, like, watch John Morton's full press conference, because from the start to finish, it felt like he was like very, very like gracious of the opportunity, but like he's like, I want to keep working. Like, I want to win the Super Bowl. He said it multiple times. Like, I just want to help this organization win a Super Bowl. Like, that's all that matters at the end of the day. And I think that's the best thing for a guy who gets demoted, man. It's easy to be upset about it. It's easy to make excuses. And him just to continue to work, dude. It's unreal. And you know what? Maybe, yeah, you're right. Like, some people just aren't like, that's not just them. You know what I mean? It's like it's the same thing with some offensive coordinators. What's his name? I'm looking here with the Patriots, the OC there.
Josh McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels, like, he has an unbelievable OC, one of the best that we've seen, right? Like, he's won Super Bowls. He's elite at it. Goes to become a head coach, just couldn't do it, right? Like, he just couldn't do it. And it's like Robert Saleh when he went to New York from San Fran, and then he goes back to San Fran, and he's a great DC again. Some people just can't do certain things, and it's not a bad thing or anything. It doesn't mean that John Morton doesn't know football or he's not good at his job. He's great at his job.
Right.
It's just like there's just specific aspects of what you do that maybe you need help other people to pick you up at what you're bad at, right? It's the same thing with Jared Goff. Like, Jared Goff isn't going to run like Lamar Jackson. Okay, how can we pick him up and make him great at something else? John Morton's great at everything. He's just not great at play calling and getting the team in the rhythm. And that was what we found out. But he's great at leading up to the game and communicating different things and, watching film and all that. Like, that's what he's elite at. So I think it's smart of Dan to kind of use his strengths with John Morton and, figure out what it's the same thing with coaches as it is for players, man. Like, they have positive parts of their game and they also have negatives, and you want to take the negatives and turn it into a positive. And that's what he did with play calling, man. He took that over. Now John Morton, I think I told you, Jeff, he can literally just focus now on doing what he is great at. Prepping, film, making sure Dan Campbell's good to go. And like he mentioned today, he is approaching every game like he's the OC still. So it helps stand out as best as possible. And he is the OC. Like, what is it? Like 18 head coaches are play callers in the league, I think it is. It was the number.
Yes.
15 or 18. Like, that means there's 15 to 18 coordinators that don't call plays around the NFL and are doing what John Morton does now. That's not a bad thing. Like, he's still a coordinator in the NFL, right? He's still helping run this offense.
And he gets a coordinator paycheck, by the way.
Yeah. And I'm sure, like, for him, like, and I'm surprised he didn't say it today, where, like, if I was him, I would have been like, there's half of the league or half of the coordinators in the league do not call plays. And they're, so it's like, all right, I'm still an OC. Like, I'm still doing what OCs do. At the end of the day, it's just Dan's calling the play, and I'm going to help him at the best possible to do it. I love the mindset.
I gained a ton of respect for him. I thought he aced today. Thought he did a great job. Here's the clip of him talking about the demotion. Here's John.
What happened when he took it from you? How did you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say exactly how it went down because that's private, but I fully support it. Listen, man, I've been doing this for a while. I've been with head coaches that are offensive guys, play callers. So I'm used to that. I feel very prideful of the things that I was doing. There's some things that I got to learn, no doubt, just like everybody else. But listen, I want to do whatever it takes to win. I mean, as soon as you said, I'm like, all right, let's go. What do we got to do? That's the way I've always been in this business. I've been cut 6 times. I've been fired. Man, you just march on. Okay, because it's always about the team. It always is. It ain't about me and goals and this and that. No, the ultimate goal is to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you know how hard it is to say, especially for someone in Morton's position. Like, Morton's been coaching for a long, long time. He's been in the NFL and college football. He's been doing it for so long. To sit up there and say to the media, there's stuff I have to learn. Like, you know how much like that, you know how there's a lot of people with massive egos that wouldn't say that. You know, I could see if you're like maybe like a Ben Johnson where you're like 35, you're like, yeah, there's things I need to learn. At his age, in his experience, to sit up there and say like, hey, there's stuff I have to learn. I thought he showed not only a ton of maturity, but it's just that transparency with him that I really do respect it, because it's like, hey man, like I've been coaching a while. I've been under guys that call plays, but doesn't mean I'm perfect, you know. And he just wants to win. Honestly, I can see why Dan loves the human. I can see why Johnny Moe, like that's a guy you want in the trenches with you. I can see that. Maybe not calling plays. I don't want, but in the trenches preparing for games, and even someone that Dan can go to in a game and say, hey, Johnny, what do we think about this situation? You know, whatever.
Can trust, like with everything.
I can see that. You know,
I do think there's a world, and me and you actually had this conversation off air. We were on the phone. I think it was today or I think it was today. Yeah, we were talking today after the press conference. And I love this, and I don't know if you agree with kind of the part that I'm going with it, but something that I would love, and obviously I think you have to still see the next few weeks how Dan does do is the play caller, right? You still want to see consistency. Can Dan be a play caller full time, right? I would love a fact where if Dan is a very good play caller and we get to see that more, you know, through a consistent stretch, I would love to have John Morton as the offensive coordinator for the next few years, right? Like to be Dan's right-hand guy. Because essentially in that spot, you want a guy who's familiar with the offense, who works extremely hard and puts the hours in. And number three, that whoever the head coach is that's play calling can trust, prepare for the game, right? Like Ben Johnson said it when he became the head coach in Chicago. Like, I don't want a guy that's going to come in and want to call plays. I want a guy that can prepare for a game like I do and put everything out there like I do and knows who I am and what I need, right? Who better in the NFL right now knows what Dan needs and what he's about in offense and all of that than John Morton, the guy who has been doing it for him now, right? And if his negative is just play calling and he can do all the other things and prepare the other ways, why wouldn't you be like, yeah, let's keep him as our right-hand guy here, and I'll continue to call plays. I just need you to continue doing what you're doing and help prepare me.
My biggest gripe with John was obviously the press conference was not great last week, but he's moved on. He's grown from that, I would say. You got to give a guy an opportunity to grow. He's done a good job since then. He's handled this with grace, and he's handled it really well. The only problem I had with him was calling plays. I don't think anyone can question if you're Johnny. Like, think about it from his perspective. Like, let's drop the whole, he's a bad play caller. Okay. Or not a great play caller, whatever it is. Let's drop that for a second. He's worked for great offensive coaches that have nothing but great things to say about him. He clearly has value somewhere in that building. You know what I mean? He clearly has value somewhere around a head coach. There's value there. He's never been a play caller for John Gruden, Sean Payton, or any of those guys, because those guys call plays. So if Dan Campbell wants to continue calling plays, that's the key. I would love him around. I think Johnny Moe's an asset to have. It's just a guy to get him prepared. Now, if Dan wants to get a new play caller, probably got to look elsewhere. But if Dan wants to call plays, I wouldn't mind it at all, Boone. I think he's a good, dude. Sean Payton had no problem with him there. You know, great offense.
John Gruden called plays. Who was John Gruden's right-hand guy helping him prepare for every game?
Yeah,
it was John Morton.
He's got the resume. Like, I'm not, you know.
And a lot of people in the chat are like, well, if he can't call plays, he doesn't know X's and O's. Like, that's dead wrong. Like, you make that comment, that shows me you have never been in an organization or with a team or anything like that. Because like AG's Burner being like, that's like being like, if you have a high IQ, but you don't know how to actually play, and you're not actually talented and you can't play. Like, that's 90% of coaches in professional sports. I was going to say, yeah, football, basketball, baseball, maybe not baseball because there's a lot of former players, but like football and basketball, there are so many guys that are head coaches. The reason they're head coaches is because they're very good at high. They're X and O's guys. They're high IQ guys. They're not even, let's not even say they're guys that can play X's and O's. They are guys who work extremely hard, and they will grind and grind and grind and grind, right? And they just weren't talented enough. They weren't good enough, and they become a coach. Like, I'm not saying John Morton was never talented enough. The man ran like a 4.1. I'm just kidding, not a 4.1, but like he works extremely hard. And for him to be the OC, like when I say I want him to be the OC moving forward, it's not him controlling this offense. Go look at the OC with Sean McVay with Mike LaFleur. Like Mike LaFleur knows his X's and O's, but he's not out there calling plays. He's out there helping Sean McVay prepare for games and making sure his game plans are all in order. So when he steps on the field for practice, he's good to go. When he steps on the field for games, he's good to go. You want your most trusted guys with you as your OC if you're going to be a head coach as a play caller. That's what John Morton is for Dan Campbell right now. That's what he is. So it's just one of those things where it's like, that's what you want in a guy who's not calling. He doesn't have a feel for what it,
AG's Burner's point, like high IQ player that can't play. He's not a player. He's a coach. Like it's a tough example to make. Just look at it like this. John Morton, I would love to hear it. An argument to suggest why the man doesn't know football. I would love to know. And if your point is, well, he can't call plays. I can't work. There's guys that get hired every year in organizations to do exactly what Booner just said that don't call plays. It doesn't mean he doesn't know football or can't be prepared for a game.
There's two play callers on every team. Does that mean every other coach on the staff doesn't know football? No, not at all.
Listen, it says an OC who can't call plays shouldn't be an OC. That doesn't, but look at play calling head coaches. I mean, like,
there's a million coaches who are OCs right now who do not call plays for their team.
By the way, Mike LaFleur, even though he comes from the LaFleur family.
Oh,
Mike LaFleur will call plays with the Jets, and it
got fired
miserably. Miserably.
Yes.
Went to LA to be Sean McVay's OC, and they've been doing really, really good. But it's like you know what I'm saying? Like,
listen, it's
he
like
literally got fired from
what Lions fans need to understand, and like AG's Burner, these people in the chat. What you need to understand is when you're an OC for a head coach that play calls, you have less responsibility, whether you like it or not. You're not going to go out there and be like, hey, like Dan Campbell's gonna be like, hey, I'm calling plays, but I'm gonna go hire Mike McDaniels. That's not gonna happen. It's not. Mike McDaniels will not sign the contract. He's gonna look Dan in his eyes and laugh at him. He's not gonna hire Brian Daboll if he is the head coach calling plays. Do you think Brian Daboll and Mike McDaniels would come to Detroit if they were not the play caller? Do you think so, Jeff?
I agree with you.
They would not. They would be like, screw you. I'm going to go somewhere where I can actually call plays and run my offense. So if Dan decides at the end of the season, I want to call plays and I'm going to be the play caller moving forward, then he needs to make sure he has a guy that is organized, that will work his ass off, and knows who Dan Campbell is, right? And knows what Dan Campbell needs. And right now, like, that's John Morton. That's who it is. Now, if Dan decides to not call plays, guess who he's not hiring at the end of the season and who's not going to be your OC? John Morton. And you're going to go out and get someone else, and Brian Daboll or Mike McDaniels.
I think where we see differently from maybe the comment, or even maybe Shift God's in there by how Shift God's commenting, but AG's Burner, I think it just comes down to they don't believe John Morton's smart enough offensively to be.
Yeah, that's just recency bias of being mad as a fan. That's thinking like a fan, to be honest.
Yeah, he's just like, well, this guy's not qualified for the OC.
Because thinking like a fan, which I respect. You guys you're a fan. That's all that is.
If the only problem is his play calling per players, or not per players, but we kind of get it from players per Dan Campbell, that's it. Everything else the guy's great at, I'll take him. I got no problem with that. If Dan's calling plays, I got no problem with that. Now, if you guys just think the guy's a buffoon, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's just your opinion. That's fine. You're entitled to it. I think John knows football. Listen, I don't think he's an absolute buffoon. So like in the chat, like they're like, the guys hate him. If you like, you listen.
Who just put it in there? Shift God today. Did you see how Gibbs reacted after Sunday? Shift God, don't comment unless you watch the last 2 days of interviews, because today and yesterday, Amon Ross said how much they love John Morton and they want him around. JMO said all these guys were like, we love John Morton. Like they're in on John Morton. They just don't like his play calling,
which is fair. Yeah,
but they respect him as a football guy.
Yeah, which is fine. He's not calling plays. That's why I don't get why people got an issue with the guy. He's not calling plays. We won. It's over. The battle's won. He's not calling plays anymore, guys. Like we're good. We're good.
They don't like his play calling. They like him as a football guy. There's two different things, right?
And I like him I like the dude as a football guy.
By the way, I can't tell Flannel's backstage right now. I see him making faces and reactions. I can never tell with his faces and reactions if he's on whose side he's on, what he's thinking of. I don't even know if he's talking like listening to us or if he's like something else. I don't know. I see these reactions. It's throwing me off.
AJ's Booner, he's not useful as an OC. He's useful as an OC. That's when you have a play calling head coach and you have an OC, that's what that job is. It's basically your
that's the point.
That's the point.
I'm so glad AJ's Burner said that because that is literally if you are not a play calling OC, that's what your job is to do.
Look at it like this: if you're a play calling head coach, your OC is basically your top offensive assistant.
Yes,
that's what that is. That's what that means. If you're play calling as head coach,
if Dan Campbell is the play caller for the next few years, you're not hiring an OC to play call. You're hiring him to make sure that your offensive unit is organized and he is prepared to go. When you make that hire, you hire someone you trust and you hire someone who knows you and who knows how to make sure you're ready. I don't know why that's so hard to understand. Yeah. It is like that's the simplest logic of all time. Like if I was going to hire someone to do something on our show for us, like, I don't know, like I'm going to behind the scenes stuff. I'm not going to hire someone, one of the best in the world on being on air. I'm going to hire someone who's not on air, who's great at organizing and get me prepared to be on air. Right? Like that's so simple. It's not that hard of a concept to understand.
Got demoted as a play caller. I still think he's useful. That's just my opinion. You might disagree with it. Let's get to a quick sponsor shout out because we have Flannel Sam waiting. We got to talk to Sam. Can't wait. We'll talk to him about a lot of different topics. You got to hear about our friends over at Sleeper. See you guys after the quick minute. I've interrupted the video to tell you about our friends over at Sleeper in the new promotion they have going on. A brand new promotion is now live on Sleeper that could be paired with the 100% deposit match promotion that's already been going on. It's a free $20, no deposit required, plus first-time users will also receive 100% deposit match up to $100. Use the code CT Sports. You guys should already be using Sleeper. It's one of the fastest organically growing fantasy platforms in the entire world with millions and millions of active users. They are crushing it. And if your state allows it, you should be using Sleeper Picks. It's a real money product that connects friends over picks. You just choose 2 to 8 of your favorite players from pregame live or across different sports. Pick more or less than the predicted stats. And on Sleeper, you can get up to 1,000x payouts. Share with your friends. Get rewarded together. Don't forget, code CT Sports. Get a $100 deposit up to $100, and you got your free $20 entry. Sleeper is taking care of their customers. Always remember, gamble responsibly. Now let's get back to the video. All right, let's have our good friend Sam Flannel, a.k.a. Flannel Sam, join the program. Oh, that rhymed. I like that one. Flannel Sam joining the program. Talking some Lions football, maybe some John Morton.
There we go.
Former host, co-host, Morning Woodward Show, Wake Up Woodward. He's honestly the king of crash outs, and he's our good friend.
You forgot a show in there. The Blue Wall, Flannel and Booner for 2 episodes.
Wow. The Blue Wall.
I think that was the name of it. I could be wrong.
By the way, also, his birthday's coming up here. I don't know if it's today or tomorrow or Saturday. I'm a bad friend, Flannel, so please break that down for me, Flannel. When's your birthday?
My birthday is tomorrow, officially.
Oh!
Yes.
Wow. No. Are we allowed to ask the age?
34.
Flannel. There we go.
Man. Yep.
Yeah, I'm about to be 30 here soon, too. So
nobody would ever suspect that I'm about 8 years and 11 months older than Jeff Iafrate. That's weird because you're obviously a very handsome man, and I think I look a little younger than a 34. I think we look somewhat like peers, like maybe I'm 3 to 4 years older than you, but not almost 9. But shout out, I'm almost in my mid-30s.
You're kind of in the Unk era.
Oh yeah, no, he's for sure in the Unk era.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
No,
Uncle Sam.
Yeah,
Uncle Sam.
Okay. And Booner, what you saw with the whole like backstage antics of me is I'm not gonna lie, and this is gonna sound really dark and morbid, but I promise I'm not intending it to be. I've got really, really bad OCD, so I'm always twitching or, shifting around and doing rituals and whatnot. It was even a problem when I was, at Woodward. It is now. I'm working on it, but I am certainly not cured. Yeah, I've got.
I love it, Flannel.
All types of OCD.
Okay, well, how about let's What'd you think of the play calling? All right, let me ask you that. Dan Campbell calling plays, the John Morton stuff. What have you kind of made of the uproar here? I know we were arguing with, some people in the chat here. The whole John Morton guy's a buffoon versus I think he's actually valuable besides calling the freaking plays. But what have you made of this, like Dan Campbell calling plays this week? How it looked? Your confidence in him as a play caller than the Johnny Mo stuff? What do you think of it all, Flannel?
Well, let me just say this, and I got to ask you, Jeff, but even more so to Booner, because you were more pronounced in it. Does your upper body, your shoulders, your chest, your back hurt from carrying John Morton's water as much as you guys have been doing? Oh my goodness. This turned into like a John Morton fap fest all of a sudden. When just a week ago we were killing
no one's
him.
fat fasting this guy. No
Yes,
one
you
is.
are. Okay,
How?
here's the reality of the situation,
How?
whether you guys like it or not. The John Morton hire up to this point has been a failure. To quote the dad from Step Brothers, failure. It just has. It just has. For the last couple of years, Dan Campbell has been allowed to be more of a CEO coach, obviously with a good offensive mind, because he knew, and we all knew, that we had as Lions fans and they had in the Lions organization one of the best play callers on the planet as their OC, which was Ben Johnson. I still think he is one of the best play callers on the planet. This year, John Morton gets demoted after 8 games, and the offense looks way better.
Yes.
I mean, way better in the game where Dan Campbell calls plays. I'm not saying that the offense was all terrible when when John Morton called plays, but they were bad on third down. Jared Goff's pressure rate was way higher than it has been, and they didn't get the wide receivers involved, and they were involved in a rut where they were in a 3-game stretch in which they were 1-2 and scoring only 22 points per game. So far, even if Ben Johnson has even if John Morton has value, the hire of him has been a failure. So far, it could turn around, but I just don't see it. I don't think John Morton's getting the play sheet back, at least for the rest of this season.
So this is where, Flannel, I think you have a little misunderstanding. I don't think me or Jeff are saying that there's ever going to be a time where John Morton gets the play calling sheet back. That will
Correct.
never happen. What we were saying was if Dan Campbell won this year, the rest of the year, most likely decides to be the play caller, as he should, where John Morton, yes, it has been a disappointment of a hire, because when you hire an OC and you have them as a play caller, you expect them to be better than John was. The thing with John is he's just better at behind the scenes things than he is play calling specifically. And that's been proven, where he's worked with John Gruden, he's worked with Pete Carroll, he's worked with Sean Payton, and they've all loved him. And he's been a guy that, for all of those guys, helped each one of those coaches prepare for game day. And Flannel, you know this best. Like, you're a very good football mind. You have a very good football mind. There's 18, I think it was the number that Jeff and I found out. There's 18 head coaches in the NFL that play call for their respective, whether it's offense or defense. That means that those coordinators, their job is not to play call. They don't go out and hire the best play callers in the NFL. They hire as their coordinator the coach that's going to help prepare them the best so they can call plays and they can run their offense and defense. John Morton can do that. He just is not he's a bad play caller. And I think that's the fact. And I agree with you on that. Like, that's been disappointing as a hire for John Morton as a play caller. You expected it to be better. It wasn't. You demote him. But the one thing that we do know for a fact that John Morton is good at, and Dan trusts him, is the behind the scenes stuff, watching the film, making sure they're prepared, and kind of the schemes of things of watching defenses and what they can run against them. And I think Dan trusts him full-heartedly, to where I think you might have misunderstood us, is if Dan is the head coach or the play caller moving forward the next 2 years or whatever it is, John Morton, like, there's no reason John Morton isn't his right-hand guy through that as well, especially that he knows the offense and he is a very good at the behind the scenes and preparing Dan Campbell, and it's someone Dan's comfortable with. Like, that's the point. The point is, like, you're not going to go hire Mike McDaniel's, Flannel, if Dan Campbell is calling the plays. You're not going to hire Brian Dable if Dan Campbell is calling the plays. That's just that's not, like, it won't happen. Now, again, like, the point is, if John Morton moves on and Dan doesn't want to call plays, then we can have that conversation when that happens.
Yeah, and we're going to see moving forward, because this is a very different experience for Dan Campbell as a head coach. Because, as I said before, the last couple of years in which the Lions have been very successful in the regular season and obviously won 2 playoff games after the 2023 season, he didn't have play calling duties. he was able to just be the CEO, head coach, make decisions when they needed to be made, and just kind of oversee everything. Now you got to mix in play calling, which is its own very, very tough job. So I'm curious to see how he handles it. If moving forward, Dan Campbell is going to be known more as an offensive genius, the likes of, Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan, Andy Reid and whatnot. I'm not saying as good as those guys, but if Dan Campbell calls the plays and the Lions go on a run and win the Super Bowl, which we would all love and we all think they have a chance to do, then Dan Campbell is an offensive genius. But we don't know if that's the best use of Dan Campbell. Hopefully it is, because John Morton, he's done as a play caller. He better be doing a lot of work behind those scenes, though, because I hear about it, but we can't know for sure. We can go off of what we hear, and, if the offense looks good, we assume that John Morton has a part in it, but I'm just really curious to see how Dan Campbell handles this all. And of course, at Philadelphia is a different animal than at an injured, kind of quitting Commanders team. We'll see how it all plays out.
Flannel, and because I think Booner explained it perfectly. I think he represented my point well as well, because we agree there. I've been the biggest, to a fault, Ben Johnson glazer on the planet Earth. People call me a Bears fan. So I've been obviously skeptical about Johnny Mo for a while, and me and Booner have been in lockstep. Especially after the last when did we start talking about this, like a week ago or something, like where we agreed that the offense needed a switch up of some sort, the Johnny Mo stuff. So I actually agree with everything you're saying, Flannel. The thing that bothered me, and this is where I have to, it's quick for people. It's easy to flip stuff on you, especially in a position like we're in, where we're trying to give Johnny Mo a little credit as like a guy behind the scenes, and then people just assume that we're glazing. Not you. I know you were kidding, Flannel, but there's actually people that believe now all of a sudden we're defending Johnny Mo for his play calling ability. Not at all. The guy can't call plays, point blank. I would prefer my head coach to call plays, Flannel. I think you would agree with that. You obviously joke about you being a Chiefs guy. Andy Reid's been calling plays for a while. He's the best in the league at it, with Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan. Obviously, Dan, we're not going to say as Andy Reid or Sean McVay or anything like that, but it's just, that's my preference, because then you don't have to worry about your offensive coordinator leaving. It just makes a lot of sense. So that's what I would prefer. So I'm working under the assumption that Dan keeps the play calling duties and it continues to work. That's the big one to your point, is we got to see Dan Campbell call plays for the rest of the year, see if it goes well, see if he likes it, see if he wants to keep doing it. And if Dan wants to keep doing it, I like Johnny Mo being the guy that gets him prepared. I don't like him calling plays, but it's the same thing. Like I know Kyle Shanahan's one of the rare guys that doesn't have an OC. I don't think they even have an OC with the 49ers. It's just Kyle Shanahan and some assistants. But like Sean McVay, Mike LaFleur, Andy Reid, Matt Nagy, like if he could be kind of that guy to just get him ready, I got no problem with it. But I agree with everything you're saying. I think the big thing for the rest of the season is, what does this Dan play calling stuff look like in big games with, better opponents, which I'm curious to see, because we only have one sample size. And to be fair to both sides, Dan Campbell didn't have nearly as much offensive talent. And also, it didn't look like Ben Johnson's play calling, obviously. But I want to see Dan with a lot more weapons. Maybe we'll see some things where we're like, this guy should be calling plays forever. Or maybe we say, maybe he needs an OC. And if they want an OC, you can shoot John Morton out of a cannon. I got no problem with that.
Flannel, can I ask you a question? Do you expect the Lions to win a Super Bowl this year? Like, is that an expectation?
All right, so I'm going to cop out slightly. If they beat the Eagles this Sunday at Philadelphia, I will be all in. I'll shoot, Booner. I will even do like a Kool-Aid thing of my own next time I'm on if they win at Philadelphia. But that goes more to not whether or not I believe in this team or not. I think getting good playoff seeding, putting some space in between, yourself, the Lions, and teams like the Packers and Bears and the division, I think that stuff matters. Yeah, and I think if the Lions lose at Philadelphia, they probably won't get the 1 seed. I'm not saying it's over because of that. It's just, to me, that makes a big difference.
Yeah. So my point with that, though, is like Lions fans they're expecting the Lions to go win a Super Bowl. If the Lions go win a Super Bowl or they get to the Super Bowl, what does that mean? What happened? That means Dan Campbell was a good OC or a good play caller. Like, That's the point. And if that happens, and this is where I think like a lot of people in the chat were like, we don't want, like Dan doesn't want to do this. Like we don't want Dan to call plays. And there's some who do, right? It's like kind of in the middle here in Detroit right now. If you're a fan or you're someone who watches this team and you're like, this team can go win a Super Bowl or they do a Super Bowl or Shift Guy just said they make a Super Bowl, that means Dan did a very, very, very good job of play calling with this offense. And what that means is he should be the play caller moving forward. So if this team reaches the heights they're supposed to and the expectations they're supposed to, what does that mean? That means Dan needs to be your play caller moving forward. And you don't need to go out and hire a new one, right? Like that's kind of my point with it. And it's like, if everything happens the way it's supposed to, the only way Dan would, in my opinion, that you're not going to say, hey, we want Dan as the play caller moving forward is if they fall short and they lose in the first round of the playoffs again or the divisional round. That's the only way. So that's kind of my thought with it.
No, and I think Jeff actually said this perfectly a little bit earlier. We all know that Dan Campbell is a great head coach. We love him in Detroit. I think you could rank him in the top 5 if you really wanted to, or just outside of it. But I think the best case scenario, and I'm not saying it will happen, but the best case scenario is Dan Campbell just knocks it out of the park calling plays and moving forward. We know for sure as fans that, oh my goodness, we have an offensive genius on our hands. I think he's a very smart offensive mind, obviously. That's what he was as a player, a tight end. That's what he was as an assistant coach. And we all know every NFL head coach favors one side of the ball. But if he's like, I don't know, I hate to mention these names, but you understand what I'm saying. If they win a Super Bowl, if he turns into, or if we find out he's like a Sean McVay level offensive genius, then by golly, this, like, it won't matter who the offensive coordinator is. It'll just be, this is Dan. It'll be like the way that they talk about Sean McVay or Andy Reid or Kyle Shanahan, even though they haven't won a Super Bowl, that the offense, the buck stops with them, and it almost doesn't matter who their OC is. It could be a John Morton. It could be like a Matt Nagy, as you were talking about. It could be Eric Bieniemy or something. It just doesn't matter because it's Dan Campbell's offense through and through, which includes play calling, which to me is the most important part of offense.
You know what, Flannel? Actually, it's a great point you just mentioned. I forgot about Eric Bieniemy, who couldn't call plays to save his life in Washington. Couldn't call plays. Yeah. But guess what? Andy Reid loved the guy because he was his OC and he got that man ready or helped him get ready. I'm not trying to insinuate that he deserves credit. I'm not trying to say that, but he was Andy Reid's guy and it worked. So that's actually a great point because when he got his own OC job finally with Washington,
that was a disaster.
It was a disaster. Yeah, thank you, Boone. It was a disaster, him calling plays. There's some guys that just fit better in certain roles. So I'm glad we covered. I do want to ask you, though, Flannel. You kind of hinted at it. What do you think of this game this weekend? This Philly game, a massive game. What do you think of the Eagles overall? Me and Boone kind of went back and forth over it. We kind of agree the Eagles don't look like they did last year. But, like, where would you rank them, I guess, right now, just in terms of top teams, legitimate Super Bowl contenders? Like, how do you feel? How do you feel about this Eagles team right now? Because it seems like they're having offensive issues as well.
I'd still put them at number 1 in the NFC for now. That will obviously change. That will obviously change if
the Rams are better, Sam. You know it.
Okay, fine. We're a splitting hairs,
but Eagles are trash, Flannel.
Oh my God, Booner. Stop it. I know what you're doing right now. I'll tell you what.
They're so bad. Actually, I had them 7th in my power rankings.
Well, that's ridiculous. And
I had them too, Flannel, but it's whatever.
Thank you. And I'll tell you what, Booner. How about you actually admit right now that old Flannel Sam was right when it comes to one Mr. Jalen Alexander Hurts? And yes, that is his middle name.
Disagree.
Jalen Hurts this season. Jalen Hurts this season.
He's had good weeks.
1 interception, 5 rushing touchdowns. And oh, by the way, you can't be like, oh, it's Saquon. Oh, it's Saquon. Oh, it's Saquon. The Philadelphia Eagles are 21st in the NFL in rushing yards per game. Jalen Hurts he's had himself a decent year. Put this Eagles offense on his back, and they're a 7-2 team. And that goes on top of all of the other great things that he has accomplished in his career. I know you want him benched.
No, he hasn't.
Trash. Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now, and he is an MVP candidate, whether you like it or not.
No, he's actually not. He's actually not.
So what? Based on what, Booner? Give me an explanation so I can rip it to shreds. Because I know what you're gonna say. Tush push, Saquon. You're like a fucking robot, Booner. That's all you ever say.
I mean, the fact that I don't know, he's like 30th in the NFL in yards per game when it comes to a quarterback. He averages like 200 yards a game.
Okay, fine. But it doesn't matter because they're winning.
They have a great defense. Like even AJ Brown, like there's a reason right now AJ Brown is mad at the production of their offense. He's like, our offense sucks. Yeah, we're 7-2. Just because they're 7-2 and has a 16 touchdowns and 1 interception doesn't mean it's all on the it's this defense. Like that defense has been great for them. The reason they've come out of a lot of these football games is because their defense has gotten stops in big moments. It hasn't been because their offense has gone out there and closed games. Prime example, the Packers game, when they had a chance to close the game out, and what happens? They give the ball back to the Packers with the chance to go kick a field goal and tie the game and extend the game. Guess what the offense didn't do? They didn't close the game out. And that was like, it's been like that all year long for the Eagles, and that's why A.J. Brown's so frustrated. A.J. Brown is yeah, you could be like, well, he's a diva, he's this. Me and Jeff talked about it yesterday. Like, we kind of agree with what AJ Brown said to the media. Like, we understand him. This offense that they have right now, it's not a Super Bowl winning offense. And if they keep playing like this on offense, eventually when it comes to the playoffs or versus good teams, it's going to bite them in the you-know-what. And that's just a fact. Like, Saquon's not playing good. I'm with you on that. Just because they're winning and Jalen Hurts has some stats doesn't mean he's an MVP candidate. It is their defense that is doing that for them. It is not Jalen Hurts. It's not that offense. It's not A.J. Brown. It's not Devontae Smith. It's not Dale Goddard. It's none of these guys. It's the defense.
Devontae Smith leads their team.
It's the defense.
The receiving yards.
It's an offense that's bad.
It's not bad.
They're not what they were last year. You're acting like he should be an MVP candidate, like he's on the best offense in the NFL. It's not the best offense in the NFL. They've struggled this year. Everyone that watches football and watches the NFL knows that this offense has struggled every single week, and their defense has continued to bail them out. They are like, I'm pretty sure they're like 22nd or 20-something in yards per game. I don't even know what they are in points per game. Hold on, let me pull it up. They're like 12th or something in points per game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in points. The offense, like, you acting like Jalen Hurts is having a miraculous season and he's the reason they're winning is so far off that you're just trying to. This is one of those flannel moments to where you get all wound up and get angry just because you want to prove one of your points right. When it's like, hey, you don't need to. It just he's having a decent season. But he's not the reason they're winning football games. He's not. And he knows that.
Decent. 16 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yeah, that's cool. But also when you're like 25th in the NFL in yards per game, that offense is like they're not that good. They're not even a top 10 offense right now. What are you talking about? You can't be an MVP candidate if your offense isn't top 10 in the NFL. I will set that right now. You cannot. You can't. That's impossible.
You can when your running game is objectively trash this year. It is.
And so is their pass game. Their offense is
pass game. 16 touchdowns, 1 interception. It's a 7-2 record.
Awesome. Jared Goff has 20-3. He's 2 interceptions off with 4 more touchdowns. Jared Goff has 20-3. How about that? Yeah,
okay, fine.
And guess what they have? They have a top 5 offense, pal.
And guess what? Jared Goff is an MVP candidate too. They both are.
He's way better than him.
You can't fap over your feet over 20 touchdowns, 3 picks, and then completely dismiss 16 touchdowns and 1 pick with 5 additional rushing TDs, Booner.
One
Stop
team
it.
is on.
You just hate Jalen Hurts.
No, I don't. It's just one team's on a top 5.
You made it very clear. Should he be benched?
One team's on a top 5 offense. One team's on a top 15 offense. One team has a top 5 yards per game. The other team is like 23rd in yards per game. There's a massive difference. One team
has Gibbs and Monty, who
don't
have been.
Care.
Yeah, it matters. Having a running game. It matters.
You should just go to the Phillies, man. Go become a Phillies fan.
No, I am an arbiter of truth. You treat Jalen Hurts.
That's not truth. He's not a top candidate and MVP. He's not a top 5 quarterback right now.
Okay.
He's top 10. Top 5 is ridiculous. That's just you trying to prove your point. I kind of respect that you have your points, that you're like, I have this point from earlier in the year. I'm going to do everything I can to make it true in week 10, when even if it's not true, because it's not true. He's not an MVP candidate right now.
He's having the best passing season.
He's
of
not
his
even.
career.
Hold on. He has worse odds than Jared Goff to win MVP right now, and Jared Goff's like 10th.
Jared Goff deserves
Goes.
MVP consideration.
Let me name
too.
this for you. Let me name this for you. It goes Drake May, Matthew Stafford, Jonathan Taylor, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts.
Okay,
That's the order in the sports books right now.
so Jalen Hurts is 9th. Jared Goff.
You said he's a top 5 quarterback and an MVP candidate. He has 4 spots minimum off of that.
Okay.
That's a ridiculous argument. Flannel, please tell me you didn't come into the show with that argument today.
Oh, I do because all of Lions fandom just treat Jalen Hurts like he's like a Saquon or Tush.
I didn't say anything bad about Jalen Hurts today.
16 touchdowns,
he
one
has
interception
nothing
on a 7-2 team, and you treat him like he's just an average ass
I
quarterback.
don't. He's a good quarterback. He's a top 10 quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He's not an MVP candidate right now. He's not a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now. He has a 20th something ranked offense in the NFL. I don't care if his run game. I don't care what's going on. The 20th something ranked offense, and you're calling him an MVP. It's not. He's not there, man. He's not. Sorry.
Basically,
Jared Goff has more touchdown passes and 2 more interceptions than the guy, and you're sitting here pounding your hand. And Jared Goff's offense is top 5 in the NFL.
And if I'm ranking quarterbacks, I'm putting Jalen Hurts over Jared Goff for now, and a lot of that.
No, that's so wrong.
How is that wrong? Jalen Hurts has a Super Bowl MVP. Jared Goff choked on his own ding-ding in the playoffs last year, and I'm not saying that with pride. I'm just saying that in terms of I am an objective man. I see what Jalen Hurts has done. I think he's the most overly disrespected player in the NFL. His resume, based just on resume, and this is how you know I'm objective, you could argue based on just resume, he's 2 after Mahomes. You could argue that, or 3 after Mahomes and Stafford. You could. I'll say 3 after Mahomes and Stafford. You could.
No, you can't. That's ridiculous.
Because all the other players that you want to put above him, like
it's ridiculous from you, Flannel.
And for the record, Josh Allen, I do think is above him. Joe Burrow, I do think is above him. You want to put Jaden Daniels above him. You want to put Jared Goff above him. They haven't accomplished anything to what Jalen Hurts has in terms of playoffs. They just haven't. Jalen Hurts has 2 dominant Super Bowl performances, 2, and a Super Bowl MVP in one of them. And you act like it's just nothing. You should just throw it in the trash.
Just because you've won a Super Bowl doesn't make you better quarterbacks than someone else just because you've won a Super Bowl.
It's not winning a Super Bowl.
That's not the end all be all.
It's performing well.
Yeah, he's won one.
And in the other one, he led.
Has he won a season MVP?
No. Has Jared Goff?
No, but he's been a finalist more recent than Jalen Hurts.
Fine, and Jared
Goff has more MVP votes, I'm pretty sure, than Jalen Hurts does in his career.
Okay, fine. Jared Goff's awesome. Jalen Hurts is awesome.
Just saying. And by the way, too, and Jeff, I just want to throw this out there. I want to get your thoughts. Like when we do talk about like throwing interceptions and those things, I think 16-1 is great. But when you pass the ball 241 times compared to, a guy like Bo Nix or Justin Herbert that passes it 350 times.
Are you putting Bo Nix over Jalen Hurts?
I'm just reading who's top and
back. God,
Flannel.
Bo Nix has been the luckiest QB in the world this year.
Stop talking. I'm just reading. I'm reading who is at the top of the league in passing attempts. That's it, Flannel. Take your hand out of your hair. Jeez, dude. Relax, Flannel. I was just reading who was at the number 1 in the league compared to him.
The Broncos have won 5 games in which their team has scored 21
Flannel, I'm not using Bo Nix. Flannel, I'm not using Bo Nix. All I'm doing was giving you who was number 1 in attempts. That's it.
Hey, Flannel, what's the score prediction? What do you have before we move on? We'll talk some college.
Man, this man. I mean, this glazes Jalen Hurts. Like he's the best quarterback of all time.
Yeah, what would you say? You're fat.
You're only allowed to glaze Lions players. I thought you were different.
No, you're not. You can whoever you want, but you're acting like this guy's like the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Philadelphia Eagles fans have every right to think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. They do.
No, they don't.
Yes,
they probably like Saquon better than Jalen Hurts.
Well, not this year because Saquon hasn't been good. Whether you like it,
they probably don't like Jalen Hurts this year because the offense sucks.
They also beat the Rams.
They don't stat watch. I'm sure they watch games and they look at it and they go, "Yeah,
the Vikings." Unlike
objectively, this offense sucks.
They beat the Chiefs. Unlike in okay,
this offense sucks. I hate watching my quarterback not be able to get the ball to one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. So
but
fun
yet
to
you want to
watch.
give no blame to Jared Goff when it comes to JMO.
So fun to watch.
Instagram
Yeah, no,
posts
well,
and
the crazy thing about that is that was proven wrong when Dan Campbell went to JMO and said, this whole drive we're going to you. And they went to him the whole drive and he caught 4 passes plus a touchdown. Yeah, so that was proven wrong so fast. You looked real smart on that one, huh, Flannel?
Hey, JMO's been great these last couple of weeks.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Hey,
You're saying we tried to blame no one blamed Jared Goff for JMO, but it was pretty clear as play calling.
Philly, you think they'll leave Philly Sunday night with a win? Let's just cut the shit.
I do not. And
he likes Jalen Hurts.
That is a reasonable opinion, by the way. Remember when I picked
a pick'em game? I mean, it's a
when I picked the Chiefs to win, and everybody wanted to throw me in like a gulag for that, and look what happened. But seriously, and here's what troubles me about the Lions for just this week, and I think this is fair. And you guys touched on it earlier. The Lions injury report this week, in terms of who's practicing and who is not, is disturbing. I will just say that.
It's a grocery.
It's. I mean, what was it? Terrion, Kirby, Laporta, Panay, Aiden all didn't practice. And that doesn't mean for sure that they're not going to play, but if they're decimated by injuries this week and the Eagles are not, I think the Eagles end up winning this game. I think they win regardless, something like 31-28. It's going to be really, really close, but I think ultimately the Eagles pull it out, with the biggest factor being that they're going to be healthier and they're going to be at home. I hope I'm wrong. If the Lions win, I'm going to be super hype, and I might even do my own Kool-Aid drinking next time I'm on to kind of pay tribute to a Booner, my good friend Booner. But I don't see it personally. I hope I'm wrong.
No, that's fair. Flannel, we talked with John Macroon. John Macroon, MSU guy.
Here we go with this one.
And Booner got into an absolute battle with John Macroon. If you ask the doc, the DOC, he would say he destroyed.
No. I just want to say this.
But to be fair, that's only one source. It's
just the doc. I think 90% of the people who are watching were like, Doc looked like an idiot. Booner dominated this, and that's at least what it looked like.
Man here, Booner. You have a Michigan man here.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this too, Flannel, with the Michigan State stuff. The only thing that I don't like, it's just like it just keeps getting compared to the Michigan thing, and it's like these are. And what I tried to tell the doc, like these are 2 different versions of breaking rules, right? Like people are like, why didn't Michigan get vacated wins? Well, like. They didn't play ineligible players. Like, I think I don't know. In my mind, it's simple. But the fact, like, Michigan State fans are always going to just bring up Michigan. And it was like, all right, Doc, like, my whole point is, can you just stop, like, take this head on as a Michigan State fan and stop bringing us into it? That was my thought process.
Well, and that's why I hate Michigan State fans more than I hate Ohio State fans. I hate Michigan State fans more than I literally hope their football team goes 0-12 for the rest of eternity. Like dead serious. It's not one of those, I hope they're good until Michigan plays them. No, Michigan State fans are the scourge of society. And one of the biggest reasons why is, think about this, Booner and Jeff, but I'm more talking to you, Booner, because you're a fellow Michigan fan. Michigan State football, since the Kenneth Walker season and the whole Tuck Cummins nonsense going into 2022, have been the worst program in the Big Ten. They are about to be the only team in the Big Ten that is going to go 4 straight years without a bowl game. 4. They should be looked at as scum on the streets, that football program. Yet, their disgraceful fans still won't stop talking. Shut up! Your poverty. Dog dick football program. That's what you guys are. And yet they won't stop talking. It's like, even when they lose, they try to always spin it into some thing. Like, I'll give you examples, and this isn't even including the whole, like, wins vacated and whatnot. You look at the 2022 game, it's, but did you see JJ stats? You look at the 2023 game where JJ obliterated them. But we're not good. What does that say about JJ? You look at 2024, they were blaming the refs. In 2025, they were talking about, Bryce, look at Bryce Underwood's stat line. They're just a pathetic fan base that is still, to this day, jacking off every night to Kenneth Walker highlights and complaining, oh, he didn't make the Heisman ceremony. You know what Kenneth Walker should have done that year? He should have had more than 25 yards against Ohio State in a game they lost 56-7. He didn't have a Barry Sanders year or an Ashton Jeanty year or a Ricky Williams, Reggie Bush, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey year. He had 1,636 yards and 18 touchdowns. A very fine season. He beat our ass personally in that game. But I'm sorry. It couldn't happen to a worse fan base. I hate Michigan State fans. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. They're just bad fans. And some of them I think are just bad people. Nobody plays the spin cycle over absolute poverty quite like Michigan State. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. And you know what else I love too, Booner? How they'll play the whole, oh, Michigan can only beat us when we're good. Or they can only beat us when we're bad. How about you try this, Michigan State? How about you be competitive and not poverty more often in your football history? About to be 4 consecutive seasons, no bowl game. You go back to Bobby Williams and John L. Smith during their combined tenure. It was 5 out of the 7 seasons of no bowl game. You look at the end of Mark D'Antonio with 3-9 in 2016, 7-6 in 2018, 7-6 in 2019. That's what Michigan State has largely been outside of a window of being really good in the early 2010 to 2015. Shut up, Michigan State fans. Take your medicine. Enjoy your poverty. Call for Jonathan Smith to get fired. I think that's probably the right decision. And enjoy another 4-8 season. It could be 5-7. Hell, if they win out, they're 6-6. But who cares? That's still a pathetic season. They're a pathetic, shit-piss poverty program that right now is worse off than Purdue, Wisconsin, Maryland, Rutgers, and Northwestern, because at least those teams have made bowl games in the last 4 years.
Yeah, I don't even know who. I don't know, Flannel, how you feel. I don't even know who would want. I think when Mel Tucker took the job, it was a job that a lot of people in college football wanted. And then even when Mel Tucker left, even with the situation, everything at hand, I still felt like it was a job where maybe some people wanted. It's at a point right now where it's like, who wants to coach at Michigan State? Who wants to take that program over? And I don't think there's a lot of people who do, especially now getting hit with this. It just feels like it's a dumpster fire of situations. And again, my only issue the last 24, 48 hours when all this went down, and I do understand it's a rivalry, Michigan State. We were supposed to get hit with the hammer a couple months ago, and then they get hit with the hammer, or I don't even think it's the hammer, but whatever, what people are saying. I get that. That's why but focus on your own thing at this point. Keep Michigan out of your mouths. Quit talking about us. Yeah, we got caught cheating. Cool. We won a national championship doing it. You won 12 games doing it. It's one of the most ridiculous things. The doc's trying to come at me about Michigan and this. It's dude, I told us, I'm just here to be your friend, man. You guys suck. Your program is so bad. It's one of the worst in college football right now, the last 5 years. I'm here for you as a friend at this point. Stop trying to bring us down with you. We are such the complete opposite of which you are right now. And I know it sucks for you as Michigan State fans to see, but that's what it is. It's just, it is what it is, right? And all these national media and people writing about it, Dan Wetzel, all these people writing about Michigan State, comparing them. Why didn't Michigan get this? Why didn't Michigan? Played ineligible players. The rules are the rules, right? And yeah, we broke the rules. Okay. We got the punishment for that. We didn't play ineligible players, right? That's vacated wins. That's why it happened. Simple as that, right? That's what it is. So keep us out of your mouth. We got our punishment for years. You guys talked about us in this investigation. Move on. That's how. And I've talked to Michigan State fans. Sorry, Flannel. I've talked to a lot of different Michigan State fans, even Jesse, who's in our chat a lot, who I disagree with all the time with Michigan State stuff. Even Jesse's can we please just move on from talking about the Michigan stuff? It is so far past. Leave it alone. But there is a handful of Michigan State fans out there that literally they would not have a life or a job and be able to be in content if they didn't have Michigan in this whole atmosphere. They wouldn't know what to do. They wouldn't know what to cover. That's all they talk about. That's all they do. It's one of the most ridiculous things in the world.
Well, and that's kind of the point why I dislike them so much. I know hate is a strong word because you see how they've lost to Michigan 4 years in a row and how they're going to be their 4th consecutive year without a bowl game. You see how they were shrieking all across social media and in our chats or other shows' chats about how Michigan's going to get the hammer and whatnot, and everything they did isn't validated. And despite being poverty, despite getting their own sanctions, and they do this probably better than any fan base in all of sports. And Booner, I know you're going to agree with me on this because you see it. I look at them and I'm like, are you victory lapping right now? What the fuck are you victory lapping? What the fuck are you talking shit about Michigan for? You are the shit on Michigan's shoes right now in terms of football. It just is what it is. Like, just own it and live in it and love it. Maybe your next head coach is going to get you guys back to prominence. I don't know. But right now, that's what Michigan State is. But they just won't stop talking. Just enjoy your poverty, or don't enjoy it, or hold your program accountable for the poverty that they are. But instead, they just want to talk about Michigan. Maybe I should stay off of social media. Maybe I should not take certain people's opinions seriously. But it irritates me, and all of this couldn't have happened to a worse fan base. I hope that they lose out. I hope that they go 0-12 for the rest of time, and all of their players have a miserable experience there. And oh, by the way, remember preseason Heisman favorite Aiden Childs benched for Alessio Milivojevic. God, rest in piss, Michigan State. Rest in piss.
How confident? I know we already talked about it last week, though. Michigan, how confident? Are we still at the same confidence level? I know nothing's happened because it was a bye week, but
yeah, it's tough. I would really, really like to see the pass game get going in these next couple of games at Northwestern and at Maryland. I think that that's absolutely huge. I'd like to see them get a little bit healthier going into Ohio State, but you still got to win the game. Northwestern, I'm not saying that I expect Northwestern to win, but I do think they're a team that has some pretty good players in the trenches. They have an offensive tackle who's good. They have a couple of D linemen who are projected to be NFL players. You know how Northwestern is. It's a part of their culture. It's a part of how they've always been, that they really know how to muck things up. And I know Pat Fitzgerald isn't their coach anymore, but it seems like this year that they're getting a lot out of probably one of the bottom 3 or 4 talent level teams in the Big Ten. So I think it's probably going to be a little bit more of a slugfest than Michigan fans will be comfortable with. I hope that Bryce Underwood looks better, because that's the only way that Michigan is going to make the playoff and beat Ohio State, is if Bryce Underwood actually makes some improvements and looks more like the quarterback more like the quarterback he was against Washington than in these previous couple of weeks. I still think Michigan will beat Northwestern and Maryland regardless if they just kind of pound the rock with Jordan Marshall and play great defense. But you're not going to do that, I don't think, this year against Ohio State. You're going to need a better pass game. You're going to need more from Bryce Underwood, and you're going to need more from the receivers. One guy that I think I've really enjoyed watching, and I'm curious to see how you think about this, Booner, who was originally their third tight end. I think Zach Marshall's the best tight end on the team. He's played like it. Marlon Klein's been hurt or ass mostly. Hogan Hanson's been hurt damn near the whole year. But Zach Marshall has really stepped up in a couple of games. And I think he will become even more of a favorite target for Bryce. And I would like to see that relationship grow.
Flannel, Jeff, hold on just a sec. I just want to throw this out there. John Effing Lord said, what about basketball? I think he's talking about Michigan State. Michigan basketball, by the way, looks incredible this year. I know they were in a battle with Wake Forest the other night at LCA. They do look incredible, though. They're like 1 through 9 just have dudes, man.
Let me just ask you this, John Effing Lord. What has happened more recently? Michigan State winning a national championship under Tom Izzo, or the birth of Jeff Iafrate? The correct answer is the birth of Jeff Iafrate.
Wow.
But yet he gets to be called January, February Izzo. It should be January, February Krzyzewski, or January, February Calhoun, or January, February Williams, or Wright, or even Hurley, for crying out loud. Donovan. Michigan State's a very fine Big Ten program, and they've been a better program than Michigan pretty much for most of modern college basketball, save for like the late 80s, early 90s. But Michigan State is not who they think they are. They are a fantastic Big Ten program, but Tom Izzo is staring up at actual legends. actual all-time great coaches. Tom Izzo is a all-time great Big Ten coach. Nothing more, nothing less. But they act like they're a blue blood. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I will say, I told Doc this the other day. I said since 2019, that Michigan State basketball program, they have won conference championships, but first 4, second round, Sweet 16, second round, and then just recently, obviously, they went to the Elite 8. But it's been, I would say, if you're a Michigan State fan and what they kind of put their expectations to and to go Final Fours, since 2019, it's really just hasn't been a thing.
Yeah, and whenever they go to the Final Four, say for 1 year, they lose. And Final Fours are fine, but that's why this whole January, February Izzo stuff it drives me crazy, because he's put on a pedestal like he is Coach K, like he is Jim Calhoun, like he is Dean Smith, like he is Roy Williams, like he is Jay Wright, or even Bill Self. What Tom Izzo is, he's more akin to somebody like Jim Boeheim or John Calipari. And there's nothing wrong with being those guys. They're all 3 Hall of Fame coaches, but the Natties just haven't been there for Michigan State. And I'm not saying, and I get it, Michigan State has the right to victory lap over Michigan when it comes to basketball as of recently. And like I said, most years in the modern college basketball era, say for like late 80s, early 90s, when Michigan was a powerhouse. I get that. But I didn't make up January, February Izzo. It was those sniveling State fans that did that, and he does not live up to that. Take those Final Fours and shove them. They're fine, but you got to win more natties when you go to 8 of them things.
Yeah, I can't believe. I mean, we did technically interview him twice, Flannel. We interviewed him via phone call on our former show, and we talked to him in person at a golf outing. So
I can't believe that happened. And believe it or not, Jeff, and I know I told you, and I'm going to tell the whole world, I didn't want to do it. Not even a little bit. I don't respect Tom Izzo. I know a lot of Michigan State fans like to cuck for Tom Izzo and be like, oh, I respect him. I do not. I respect what he is as an all-time great Big Ten coach, but when it comes to like a national coach, there's like 7 or 8 coaches in the era that he's in that I mentioned earlier that have better resumes and are better than Tom Izzo. Tom Izzo is closer to a guy like Scott Drew than he is Mike Krzyzewski.
Scott Drew, shout out South. Yeah, that's, you know.
I do have to. I want this on record. I want this on record. I'm on the opposite side as Flannel on this one.
Oh,
as a former basketball coach, coached against Tom Izzo at one point. Tom Izzo is, as much as you hate it, Flannel, he is a legend. I do have a lot of respect. The man went to 8 Final Fours. There's not a lot of coaches. I don't care if he hasn't won them. 8 Final Fours, 11 Big Ten regular season, like multiple coach of the years. Like he is a legend. I get what you're saying, Flannel. Like I understand, but in the basketball world, Tom Izzo is a living legend. I will say that.
He's a Big Ten legend. I will give you that. He's
the greatest Big Ten coach of all time.
I'd go Bob Knight, but you can argue for Tom Izzo.
Yeah,
I think.
But I'm saying if you're the greatest Big Ten coach of all time, you've gone to 8 Final Fours, multiple time coach of the year. Like I get it. He doesn't want like and if you ask Spenny and different guys, like he does need a second natty. Like everyone talks about that.
And if he wins this, and for the record, Booner, yeah, I hate to cut you off. And if he wins a second natty, I'll shut the fuck up. I will.
That's fine. I just say he's been one of the most consistent college coaches of all time. So like I get it. Like yes, it would help his resume more to be an all-time great with a second national championship and not to have so much time in between. But this man's gone to 8 Final Fours, man. Up until 2019, every single class that walked through Michigan State experienced a Final Four. You will never find a coach probably outside of maybe like Calipari or like Coach K that did that with this program. So I respect the hell out of him. As a former coach that's been in the same building on the floor as him, he is one of the best to ever do it. And it sucks because he's a Michigan State guy, but I respect it. And what he does for their school, like I respect it.
I love how in college basketball, and of course Michigan State fans get to benefit from this, you get your feet kissed by being top 4. Like a Final Four is just as good as a natty.
Well, in basketball, I mean, the tournament has almost 60 plus teams with counting the first 4. Like it's one of the toughest things to do. I mean, dude, there are college basketball coaches who are some of the best in the world that will never win a national championship. And you could argue they have some of the best basketball minds in the world. It's one of the hardest things to do in all of sports is to win in March. It is a fact. And there's coaches that do it multiple times, like Coach K, like in respect to them. That's what makes them so great. But there are coaches who are all-time greats that just don't ever get it done, man. Look at Kelvin Sampson in Houston right now, man. Like, he is one of the best ever in his business, and everyone in that business respects him. And he may never get one at Houston. He just may never. I don't think he will. I don't think he will ever get one in Houston, even though they're the favorites. Like, it's just what it is, though, man. That's one of the toughest things. When I was at SVSU, we went to the Elite Eight, and it was one of the biggest deals of all time. Like, it's tough, dude. These tournaments are tough. This isn't like the Super Bowl. You have 2 games to win.
Tom Izzo definitely ranks higher than Kelvin Sampson on my all-time list. But I know I'm taking up a lot of time, but Krzyzewski's done it. Roy Williams has done it. Bill Self has done it. Jim Calhoun has done it. Billy Donovan has done it. Dan Hurley.
Can I ask something, though? Dan
in
Hurley.
the Izzo
Can I ask,
era.
though?
Yeah.
Did those guys take over programs that were already built and known, or did they take over a program like Tom Izzo in Michigan State where he was the one that built it?
Well, Michigan State had won a natty before with Magic Johnson and Greg Kelser.
Yeah, but Tom Izzo kind of grew that into what it is today.
You should still have more than one, in my opinion, to be validated to where he's talked about. They name a month after him. Like
I'm with you. Flannel, listen, I will argue that with you. The January, February Izzo thing is ridiculous. I'm with you on that. Like, I'm 100% with you. I just can't agree with he's not a legend. He's a legend. There are literally legendary coaches who have never won national championships.
Like,
he is a legend.
Like,
8 Final Fours. What's the most Final Fours by a college coach? Final Fours from college coach. Let me see.
Okay,
let's
fine,
see where he lists.
Still has the same amount of natties as Scott Drew and Steve. Fisher,
it goes Coach K with 13, John Wooden 12, Dean Smith. These are 3 all-time greats. 11, Roy Williams 9, Tom Izzo 8. The 5th most Final Fours out of all those coaches.
Congratulations, you've been a top 4 team 8 times, and you've been a top 1 team once. The same amount. As
Dean Smith only won it twice out of his 11. 2 out of 11.
Yeah,
like if we're talking ratios.
2, which a lot of coaches have, which if Tom Izzo does, I will gladly come here and grovel to Michigan State fans and say that I was wrong. But for now,
you think John Calipari is an all-time great?
I think John Calipari is extremely overrated. I think he's done a lot less with some of the most talent. He got 1 natty. But if you look at some of those rosters and some of those draft picks, I mean, look at all the players in the NBA that have come from Kentucky. I'm not going to name them all because, for the interest of time, but I think Calipari, if he would have got a second one, would have been like, I would probably put Calipari below Tom Izzo, and I'd put Jim Boeheim below Tom Izzo as well, but I think they're kind of in the same room all time, a little bit below guys like.
Listen, he's a top probably 15 college basketball head coach of all time. That's not crazy. I don't think that is.
I'd probably, if I was actually doing a list, I'd probably put him like 15 to 20 or something like that.
I would probably put him 5 to 10. But
that's insane.
That's
Booner.
me.
God damn. A sniveling Michigan Izzo cuck. I love it. You're not alone, though.
I'm fair with it.
Izzo cuck is wild. Like, Flannel's been on one. Flannel week.
Jeff Iafrate is a grown man who's runs a business, who's got a beard, and he was born more recently than Tom Izzo's only natty. He's a Lukas Klotz, the same thing. They are grown men.
Honestly, that was impressive. I didn't expect you to go there. That was that puts things into perspective, Flannel. I still think Tom Izzo's. We have a difference of opinion with Tom Izzo. I was excited to talk to him. I was fired up. He guy's an absolute legend. Which you're saying he's a legend, top 15, 20. I'm probably more aligned with Booner. I got a lot of respect for Izzo. But you know what? It's fine. You're consistent, Flannel, and that's why we appreciate you. Today you were you got out a lot of feelings about different things. I know Teddy really appreciate the $2. He says I'm clipping this and sending it to Old Takes Exposed. I think Teddy's an Eagles fan. I think he was referring to Booner on the whole Hurts stuff. I think that's what
go ahead. I don't care. I mean, this guy's never going to win an MVP. What are you talking about?
Well, he's got a Super Bowl MVP.
Good for him. He's got a great team around him.
I know. It's something that Goff, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert still have.
Lamar Jackson is
like
100 times better than Jalen Hurts.
He's not 100 times better.
Yes, he is.
I'd put him above Jalen Hurts.
No, yeah, 100 spots better than Jalen
But Lamar
Hurts.
Jackson is a terrible playoff quarterback by the numbers. You can look it up. And that's
Right.
what's preventing him.
Give me
from
Lamar
being-
Jackson over Jalen Hurts any day.
And I agree with you. Lamar Jackson's higher on my list, but Jalen Hurts is higher on my list than guys like Jaden Daniels, Goff, and Justin Herbert for now.
Not Jared Goff.
Yes. And I love Jared Goff, but come on.
All right, we'll talk to you next week, Flannel.
Love you, Flannel.
You crushed
Love you
today,
too.
man. You keep doing your thing, brother. You guys can follow Sam at Flannel_Sam. Flannel.
Hey, by the way, Flannel,
Yeah.
I just want you to know, anytime any Lions game, you're free. You are allowed to come to our watch party. Someone asked us last Sunday. I know you had reached out to Jeff and I about doing them.
Yeah.
Someone actually brought it up to us in the chat. Was like, "Is Flannel ever going to be at the watch parties?" We forgot. Like, not that we forgot, but we've talked to you about it before. We are live. Yeah, we did. We are live every Lions game. We're on a location all together, or we have 2 different spots we do it. So whenever you want to come, text us. We'll tell you where we're at, and you can pull up, and you'll be on the show.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. I know I kind of threw that out there at the beginning of the year, but I'm also, I respect you guys and what you've built. And I'm still, even though we've been peers before, I still have reverence to you guys and Lukas and Gentry and
we watch
Caleb
there
as well.
Flannel, you are invited to every single one.
Yeah,
Whenever you want to come, just text us, and we'll tell you the address. We'll send you the address, and you'll be there.
we'll send you some dates. Just pick
this
a
Sunday,
date
if you want, we have a couple places like bars and stuff we're going to be at over the next month or so that we're going to be announcing soon. So if you want to go to those, it's up to you. Whatever you want. You could come to every single one. We're going to be live on Thanksgiving. You don't have to do that. That's a lot, actually.
Yeah, we're sickos, but
yeah.
Any other day you come through, Flannel, you're always welcome, man.
I appreciate it, guys. And
there you go.
Keep crushing.
There you go. Flannel Sam. Check him out.
Appreciate it, Flannel.
Until next week, Flannel. There you go. Flannel Sam joining the show, talking sport with the fellas. We got 3 minutes left, by the way. Who did you say you had to score a touchdown in this game?
Well, actually,
Yeah, Drake May. He hasn't scored.
I didn't take Drake May. I forgot to do it because there's a live boost. Should I live boost something right now?
I mean, it's the third quarter. It's a disgusting game, like I predicted. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I would go. I don't know, man. I don't think I wouldn't even touch this game. This game is disgusting. I mean, Justin Fields has their only touchdown, and he's 4 for 8 for 23 yards. I'm sorry, dude. Justin Fields stinks.
So bad, dude.
Dude, he stinks,
so
man.
bad.
And I know we had our group chat and they were talking about it, dude. Like watching Justin Fields at Ohio State, he was a killer, an absolute killer at Ohio State. But that happens. He can't process information at an NFL level. He just can't. He can't. And
It's actually
it takes someone that can't process NFL information on an NFL level to say that. Like I can see it because I can't do it. So Justin Fields, he's an incredible. I think he's a great dude. He's got great. He's tapped in with his faith. He's a great guy, great human. All right, I love to hang out with him. Just can't play quarterback, bro. I don't know. And I don't know. I get the Jets isn't a great situation, but he has not looked good all year. Weapons, no weapons.
Dude, Jeff. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick.
Hasn't looked good, man. I feel for him.
Justin Fields. I don't feel for him. I mean, I do a little bit. This man, these are some of his games. Are you ready for this? Opened the season up 218 yards, only a two point loss to the Steelers. Everyone was confident. Next week, maybe he got hurt. I think he got hurt. 27 yards. Versus the Broncos. I don't know how much he's played in these games, but versus the Broncos, 45 passing yards versus the Broncos. Versus the Panthers, 46 passing yards. Versus the Browns, 54 passing yards. And then today, do you know what he has today?
What?
25 passing yards. Tanner Engstrand has to be I thought I had it. I want to go back and be with Jared Goff.
They hitched their wagon to him, man. They paid him.
They paid him a 2-year deal, wasn't it?
Was it a ton of? It wasn't like a lot of money, but they hitched their wagon to him.
They
I don't know if it's I don't even know if it's fair to say like just go somewhere else because he's been 3 different places. I mean,
he's probably a backup moving forward.
yeah. I mean, I don't
which
know
sucks.
what
I
you can
mean,
do with it.
it just didn't work out, man. His career just didn't work out. I don't know where you could take a positive if you're a a franchise and you're like, hey,
I don't know either. It's
know.
tough, man. We'll be back tomorrow. We got picking tomorrow. Caleb, I want to get someone out to talk some Pistons. I feel like the Pistons are winning. We haven't I want to talk about Pistons.
Second best team in basketball right now, and they don't even have all their players.
So we'll talk some Pistons tomorrow. We'll talk more Lions, Eagles. There's a lot of things to get into tomorrow as well. So until tomorrow, 8 p.m., we will catch you all. Hit that like button on the stream. All of you watching, it helps us a lot. Until tomorrow, we will catch you all. Peace. I've interrupted the show to tell you about our friends over at Prestige Worldwide Vending. State-of-the-art vape vending machines that can boost sales to any venue, business owners, or anyone that has an establishment that customers are coming in and out of. Prestige Worldwide Vending can help not only attract new customers, but keep customers inside your establishment. Nicotine users that leave to go get nicotine, it'll be right in the place they're at. 32-inch touchscreen, customizable advertisement, which is sweet, by the way. Age verification software to scan IDs confirming age, pre-sale if required. You can pay cash, credit, debit, or mobile. Mobile payments are also accepted, and you get paid when they get paid. It's a win-win. You make your customers happy. You make money on the side. And, of course, working with a company like Prestige Worldwide Vending, who is on the up and up, can only benefit your business. Shout out to them for sponsoring the show. Now let's get back to it.